turn the mic on. Let's transition. Hello, guys. Welcome. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Let me know if you can in the comments. But yes, welcome, guys. Now, first thing we'll start with is this channel finally reached 1,000 subscribers, and I am so thankful for you guys for doing that, and in honor of that, hopefully this works. I don't have the sound on, so hopefully, from my end, but hopefully this works. I'm just gonna play it, and well, here we go. So in honor of 1,000 subscribers, hopefully you guys can hear that. It should be a sound of clapping. And there you go. All right, we got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of things to talk about. Let's get with the first thing that I always like to do before I actually go into the topic is going over what anime I am watching, basically what I got from the library. So let's start with that, and then we'll actually get into the topic. All right, here we go. So first things first, you guys can see this. This is the original Gundam. That's right. Not 00, not MS Teams, not Char's Counterattack, the original. So that's that. Let's move on here. This is a random anime called Shonen Omaju. I believe it's actually a shoujo. So yeah, I never saw it before, but it looks interesting, so I figured, hey, why not? This is a classic one, if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called Ghost Stories. It has one of the greatest dubs in the history of dubs. You guys don't know the story. Basically, for real? Are we okay here? Okay. Just making sure things are working. As I was saying. So, the story about Ghost Stories... The story about Ghost Stories. The story of Ghost Stories is that the dubbers, they kind of just did their own thing, and that's why the it basically was the first abridged anime, if you will, and that's why it's so funny. And it's free, by the way, on Retro Crush if you ever want to watch it, both dubbed and subbed. So there's that. Just like Code Geass, Gundam had recap films. Actually, what anime doesn't have recap films? Anyways, these are the three. For the original series, and you can watch it on Netflix too, by the way. In fact, they just released this on Netflix if you have them. I didn't put that in my guide because that's for April, but in my updates for each month I mentioned that. So yeah, the original Gundam recap films. All right. Next we have Silent Mobius. Not sure if you guys ever heard of Silent Mobius, but it's actually kind of a random show. I've wanted to see it for the longest time now. I can't really tell you why. It just looked interesting. So there's that. Then we have one of my favorite anime, and one that most people have never seen, unfortunately, is Gungrave. Now, Gungrave is... Some people compare it to Trigon because the guy who actually designed this show, or the characters in this show, designed many of the characters in Trigon. Like the main character here, Beyond the Grave, was actually the same guy, same designer, or shares the same design as Wolfwood from Trigun. If you've seen that anime, this is a very underrated story, and it's one of my favorite anime of all time. If you've never seen it, by the way, do yourself a favor and watch it. So there's that. Next, for my own amusement and possibly punishment, Heroic Age. This is a mecha anime, and I didn't like watch mecha, but I'll be honest with you guys, this one is is not great. But I'm watching. I need the footage for some stuff, and hey, you never know. You want to watch a crappy mecha that has the same voice cast from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Why not? Not the worst thing, but not the best. And finally, we have the Fate series. Which one? This is Fate Clyde Liner, and I have the first series, Sphy, and Sphy Hertz, which is kind of cool. I was actually watching part of episodes of this, and I thought it was gonna be more of a kind of a slice of life lolly show, and it's actually very dark, and I was kind of surprised. So I've never seen one before. I've only seen Stay Night, Zero, and Unlimited Blade Works. So it'll be very interesting to see if you know, how this turns out. Okay. That's all the anime I've got from the library, at least for this week. Okay. Next thing to talk about real quick. Some people were asking me about doing a Discord at one point, starting a server. And as of right now, I want to do it. I think it'd be a good idea. The problem is, the problem is I would need some help in terms of maybe people running it, even how to do a Discord server, because my knowledge in this field is not the greatest. I can always look at what other people do, but yeah, I would need some help running it. I can't obviously pay mods at the time, but I would need some moderators. I got to figure out like what groups to create. Should I make it more just Geass only? Should I make it more generic for all the animes I enjoy? I mean, I could scale this up. It just depends. I definitely would like to do one. I'd have to figure out like what's the best means to do so. So I'll just start a Discord server. I'm still working out the details as to how I'm going to do that. All right, so those are the major things. Again, thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. All right, and in honor of 1,000 subscribers, we are going to rip apart an article from CBR. Now, this might be one of the worst articles ever written, and we're going to go to that, but let me first set myself up real quick. So let me put like this new transition screen I have, so check this out. So let me just do this real quick. And then we can, should not be hearing that. Whoopsies, this should only be monitor off only. Okay. Otherwise you get an echo. Hopefully you guys are not hearing the echo. But anyways, let me go set up my screen while you guys look at this lovely picture of C2. Okay, so we'll get this going here. That's all she wrote. Okay. All right. So here we are. And this article, in case you can't tell from the title, is Geass anime's 10 most hated characters ranked. Now, what's funny about this is that there are some characters on here that are going to make your you're going to be really confused. I'll just put that much. The thumbnail is not a clickbait. That's actually on this list. I'm not kidding you. Thank God that's only water. If it wasn't, well. Anyhow, let's do what we do best. Take apart horribly written articles. Okay. Geass is still an incredibly popular anime, but it doesn't mean fans don't get irritated with certain characters and their decisions. Alright, sure. Facts, why not? Not a problem there. Produced by Studio Sunrise, Geass is an anime that was released well over a decade ago. It follows the story of the exiled prince Lelouch v. Britannia, a young and extremely ambitious young man. Yeah, it should be a Lelouch v. Britannia, an extremely ambitious young man. You put young twice. Who one day finds himself in possession of the power of complete obedience. You mean Geass? And okay, it wasn't really one day. It's that kind of okay. It's fine. It's not that important. But I don't like the way that was worded. He uses this power to get the one thing he truly desires, the freedom of Japan from the evil empire of Britannia. Okay, that's not true. That is completely inaccurate. This person did not watch the show. And you know what's so sad? You learn what Lucia's intentions are from like the first episode, literally the end of it. C2 tells Lelouch, you have a reason for living. What's the reason for living? Nunnally. That's what he does, really? Wow. My God, really? Destroy? Like, that's not his main goal. Someone else made a video about Lelouch's, I'm not going to say the channel. Of course, there's not many Geass YouTubers out there, but if that's even a thing. But someone made a video about Lelouch's goals and stuff, and they kind of made the same incorrect statement, and I was kind of annoyed by it. You probably know who it is anyways. But yeah, we're already like a paragraph in. Well, I guess technically two. And this is already wrong. So, like most of your articles, buckle up. This is going to be awful. The series was a hit from the get-go. And like many other popular series among fans, it had certain characters that many ended up hating. While a lot of the hate towards the characters was an intentional byproduct of the show's creator, seeing how the characters were evil people. Oh, so it's saying that they were created so you would actually hate them. Yeah, there's actually one character to mention, which is, yeah, that's true. So that's not accurate. A lot of hate was directed at some complete unexpected characters. Now here's the thing, completely unexpected characters. I've been on Geass groups now for a while, let's say over a year, right? That's a good amount of time. I look at the posts people say about characters they like, characters they hate. Half the people on here are not hated characters. Maybe don't like the role they did with them or certain aspects of them, but hated is a very... If you guys ever seen the movie Aladdin, Return of Jafar, it's a sequel to the original Aladdin. It's actually pretty good. But I believe that was the movie where, was it Iago said, like, hate's a strong word? Jesus, CBR made me tongue-tied. So hate is a very strong word. I don't think hate was used for some of these characters. But, hey, look, these guys are experts, and what do I know? I've only seen the show like a billion times. All right, here we go. Number 10, Shirley, of course. The problem with Shirley is the same problem with most female characters in the series. Their existence seems to revolve around one boy or the other. There's other boys in the story that the girls like. I don't know. Shirley had a huge crush on Lelouch and goes to great lengths in order to catch his attentions. Such is her level of entitlement, and she gets annoyed at girls who have no conversation with Lelouch. Well, actually, the only person she gets annoyed with who has conversation with Lelouch is just Colin, which is kind of weird. I made a video about Shirley and Lelouch's relationship, which is I think it was pretty good. And in that video, I mentioned how Shirley only gets upset if Colin talks to Lelouch, not anyone else. She never seems to show any kind of jealousy, which was kind of weird. So this is not really accurate. Unless there's a scene I'm missing where some girl like made a move on Lelouch that Shirley was not aware of besides Colin. I don't recall this ever actually happening in the story. But I get the point. She's very possessive over him. Okay. But where's the hatred, though? Well, that's it? That's your argument? Are you kidding me? You didn't prove anything. All right, that's true. And you know what? Larry King, I just saw something else. She got angry when Lelouch was with Euphemia. You remember that? There was a scene where Lelouch was talking to her during the school festival, and she's like, "What are you doing with a flirty girl?" Okay, you're right. Shirley actually did. I wonder why I didn't mention it when I made the video. Whatever. We all make mistakes. See, CBR makes mistakes. I can too. But yeah, you're right. She was upset he was on dates with all those girls. And he was also upset, she was upset when Lelouch was with Euphemia. But here's the thing, though. Do people hate the character because of this? Or are they upset with the way she was written? I don't know. And some people say that, like, Shirley's character was actually important. And what was it? Her character was actually important to helping Lelouch, like, develop as a character himself. She showed him like how the consequence of his actions, when her father died, and that made Lelouch really rethink his life. Her death is what drove him to destroy the Geass Order. So, jealousy equals hate. Yeah, exactly. I just like, and again, people. Besides, like, I'm not gonna like go into this guy's particular point, but like, I know DX doesn't like the character. He's a YouTuber. He did a video about why he hates Geass, but most people don't hate Shirley. In fact, what most people say and I'm one, by the way, who says it on Facebook and Reddit and all these different groups or sites, is that Shirley deserved better. Okay, Shirley actually deserved better. She shouldn't have died. She should have joined the Black Knights or whatever. Like, that should have been her role in the story. So everyone's like wishes the best for this character, not the worst. And that's from the fan base, which this person never interacted with. And most people write the articles, unfortunately, never do this. And it annoys me because if you just went on like Reddit for 20 minutes or Facebook or, I don't know, Quora or even my Amulist, just read some forums, you wouldn't have such awful takes. Shirley deserved better, even in this point here. One paragraph to say why you hate her is, wow. Anyway, let's move on to our next character, Ohgi. Nice. Despite being the leader of the Japanese resistance group, Ohgi has consistently shown a lack of ambition. Okay, even though he's prideful of his lineage, he'd rather be a teacher in a peaceful town than be I guess leading, maybe better, rebelling against Britannia. His views changed a lot after witnessed the massacre of the Japanese by the Britannians, but he never let go of his dream, which was viewed as weakness and hindrance by many fans. That was the most generic thing I've ever read. What did it do with anything? Because he had no ambitions to want to lead, people hated him? People hate Ohgi because he betrayed Lelouch. If we're gonna like go to the heart of the matter, okay, I was expecting Seabright to bring out the big guns here. We're attacking his character because he showed no interest in leading. He betrayed Lelouch. That's why people hate the character. And some do say like he wasn't a good leader, but that's like on the that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. The real hatred towards Ohgi is the fact he betrayed Lelouch, not because what? So weird. Now, maybe people hate him because he trusted Valletta over Lelouch. Again, that's a fair point. I've seen people make that argument. He's not even. This is so generic. Besides the teacher part, like, what does that have to do with anything? Ohgi may not want to lead, but it's not that he had no desire to lead. He just felt he wasn't qualified, right? That's the difference. It wasn't like, I don't want to lead a resistance group. It's more like, I don't think I can. I don't think this is my job. I'll do it, because someone has to, right? If there's no man in the world, you got to be the man. But the idea that like he didn't, they're conflating 2 points. It wasn't that he had no interest. He felt he wasn't qualified. That's the difference between what there's what. That's the difference. Yeah, let's go back. That's the difference between like Ohgi's character actually is, as opposed to what they said he is. It's a terrible take. I mean, if you're gonna hate on Ohgi, at least attack the reasons or bring up the reasons why. God, just the worst. Okay, what? With 3 sentences. Number 8. Deithard read. We meet again. Deithard is the personification of the modern-day paparazzi. People who stop at nothing to get the scoop that they want. While this is good for journalism, this often resulted in many moral and ethical boundaries being crossed. Not to mention, he didn't think twice for falsifying facts in order to get what he wanted. Did anybody hate Deithard? I thought he was brilliant. He was one of the only characters to like really understand Lelouch's character during like all the conflicts. Every time Lelouch did something that was like, ooh, why would he do that? Deithard's like, I know exactly why he did that. This is crazy. Deithard? People hated Deithard? No. Deithard was awesome. He wanted to film the destruction of the world and the recreation. He was so sociopath about, he was a sociopath about everything. He didn't care. He was funny. He was so amused by Zero, he just wanted to follow him or follow whoever was going to, change the world, him or Schneisel. But if you're going to say like you don't like Deithard, okay, here's some reason why you may not like Deithard. Actual reasons. Number one, he betrayed Lelouch like everyone else. He went to join Schneisel, which was actually worse. Well, everyone else joined Schneisel. Never mind. So maybe that he betrayed Lelouch, right? Just kind of, I'm going to keep repeating that because that's why people don't like Deithard, because he betrayed Lelouch. I mean, maybe he's kind of crazy. I never hated this character, and again, I've never seen anyone who hates the character. Usually, when I post a quote on, usually I post a quote about Deithard, people are like, "Yeah, I love Deithard. He was funny." And by the way, Deithard was not an idiot either. He had a lot of good philosophy about life, including where he said like, a single man might be more important than like an entire group, and he was trying to explain to Toto in the submarine like why is it that Zero is important to organization. He made it very clear, why it was, because he leads everyone, different groups and backgrounds. They all come together for Zero. So they were really. This guy was very smart, and I just what? I guess you can argue that. Okay, well, he took joy, I guess, in Lelouch's destruction. I guess by that logic, you hate Lelouch too because he was the one who did the destruction to begin with. I mean, if you're gonna go down this route, who's worse, the guy who loves the destruction or the guy who does the destruction? I'm not saying there's an option here. It's kind of confused how you're gonna hate the guy who like reveled in it, or the guy who you won't hate the guy who actually did it. I know Deithard is a great character. He's one of my favorites in the show, and a lot of people forget about him. Or I don't know, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's awesome though. Horrible take. Also, when did he falsify facts in order to get what he wanted? The only thing I could think of in that case was that he kind of denied the fact that Lelouch was a student, or he didn't care in the turn 19. Now in the films, he shredded the evidence of Lelouch, that Valletta had of Lelouch. So that was him falsifying evidence. Did this person watch those films? No, definitely not. This person didn't even watch the show. They went on Wikipedia for like 20 minutes and looked up a bunch of random stuff and they just came up with things. Because half the stuff is not even true. I don't know where they came up with this. Deithard has no ethics, guys. Come on. We'll do one more, then I'll read through the comments. Number 7, Tamaki. Alright, someone I actually kind of agree with. I don't like Tamaki either, but I'm curious to see what their reason is. Despite Tamaki being on the side of the Japanese rebellion, and despite his people consistently being part of race attacks by by Britannians? Just say by Britannians. Tamaki himself could not let go of his racist ideologies. He hated all Britannians that followed exception. He was also bratty and impulsive, and was seen when he went against Zero's orders and ordered execution of the Ashford Academy student council. Okay, well, we got a lot of things to go over here. Number one, Tamaki's racism. To be fair, I never noticed it. I'm not saying he wasn't racist toward Britannians. I'm sure he was, especially after the massacre when he was like, "What the heck is wrong with you guys?" But did he hate all Britannians? Did he ever make that clear? I can't remember because unlike Nina Einstein, the racism of Tamaki is never really made that obvious. I mean, didn't he work with Schneisel? And Schneisel was Britannian. And he worked with his forces to stop Lelouch. Was he really racist? I don't know. The thing I will agree is he's very bratty and impulsive. That's true. But here's the thing, too, they don't mention. He was a Lelouch fanboy. And that's what pissed me off. It was very cringy. His antics for Zero was... Like, every time he said, "He's my best bud," I died a little inside. I laughed, but I also died a little inside. Because it was just... Come on, Tamaki. Really? That's what pissed me off about Tamaki. He was such a fanboy to Zero. And that's what annoyed about his character. Not the fact that he was like... I mean, yeah, he was impulsive. He did a lot of stupid stuff. There's actually... I was rewatching the show. In turn 6, he did something really stupid, and he almost got like... You know the part where all the helicopters are bringing the nightmare frames, right? Tamaki, I think he was driving one of the choppers, or he was in one of the nightmare films. I forget which, but he messed it up, and like he nearly got himself killed, and the pilot. So he's kind of an idiot, and everyone knows it too. It's not like everyone's pretty much aware of Tamaki's abilities. There's a picture. I don't think I have. I forgot which stage it, but you guys have seen it. It's that famous picture where Lelouch has all the characters and their ranking abilities. Tamaki's always been the lowest. He's basically comic relief in the story, which is kind of weird because does Geass need comic relief? But whatever, you have it, and yeah, I don't know. Like there's that's why I hate him. I thought he was impulsive, not impulsive, because he was kind of a zero fanboy. A lot of his scenes were kind of cringy, if we're being honest here. You know, he kind of reminds me of. There's a character in let's see if I can find it. If I can't find 2 seconds, I'll move on. But there's a character in Double O. Let's see. Um, guys, Kujo. No, it's not Sumeragi. I just wanted to. Hold on a second. So, let's see. Did he have like relationships? Here we go. No. Smirnov? Is this it? Katie Mannequin? Yeah, so she was in love with this guy. Oh, if you haven't seen Double O, yeah, that's right. I can't remember. Yeah, here it is. Patrick Colasar. Yeah, Patrick Colasar is like Tamaki in Double O because he survives like all the battles. But you know what? I actually liked him. I thought even though he was obnoxious, he had the balls to tell to go out with Katie. So I liked this character a lot, and I think they did a better job in Double O with a character like this, like a Tamaki. But I liked him a lot more. Didn't mean to go on that tangent, but just wanted to bring that up. So overall, with Tamaki, is he like the worst character? Is he hated? I didn't like him. What I say, hate Tamaki? No, I hate some of his moments. It was fun though when I guess you do like a whole a countdown of how many times Suzaku owns him in the series. It's almost sad actually. And the sad part about Tamaki is that he actually really tries to help Lelouch. Like that one part where Bradley was going to kill him in the personal. Tamaki really tried to defend him. Like Tamaki has like the heart. He just doesn't have the will. Um, all right, let's go through some comments real quick. Now that we've gone through all that stuff. All right, our mistakes for an intro. Yep, that's right. That's what CBR does. She got upset with Lelouch multiple days. Right, I mentioned that. Oof, congratulations on 1K. Thank you. It was a lot of work to get there. Although, oddly enough, most channels need like 100 videos to get to 1,000. I did it under, was it 30? So that's pretty cool. It's really one video that got me there, but I don't care as long as I got to it. Hate the character, the personality, or hate the character arc? I wish they clarified that. Asking CBR to clarify anything is like asking a mosquito to stop biting you. It's just not going to happen. It's like asking a wasp to leave you alone, or I don't know. Just picture like any annoyance in your life and telling it to stop. That's CBR trying to clarify anything. So yeah. Ohgi hate due to his simping caused him to betray Lelouch. Yep, as I mentioned, he chose Valletta over Lelouch. Look, I'm not gonna lie, right? Valletta is very attractive looking, and most men would probably do the same thing. Not that it's good, I can just understand it. Next comment. Big thing people hate on Ohgi is that he never gave Lelouch time to explain his gas when betraying him. Yep. I actually saw a post from someone on Facebook who said that the whole betrayal of Lelouch should have been like 3 episodes to fully go over it, and I agree. And I wish in the alternative universe, the films, they did that. Instead, they just added a bunch of extra stuff to that whole scene when they betray him, which is like, okay, great. That's not helpful. It just shows the Black Knights didn't want to kill him. They still were agreeing to betray him. They could do a lot more with that. Deithard was a sick man. That's why we loved him. Yeah, he was a sick man. I enjoyed it. That scene when he broadcast the whole destruction, the massacre of the Geass order, that was amazing. Even like Raksha's like, what the heck is wrong with it? He's like, I don't care. This is what it is. I want to see the role destroyed. I don't care who does it. I'm very bored. I'm 32 and I'm lonely. I don't know. The only fact he ever lied about was the Death of Zero. Otherwise, he wanted to record what happened in reality. Yeah, that's actually a really good point because it said here in the article he wanted to falsify facts. He never really did. He wanted to record what actually happened. He just chose to see. There's a difference between falsifying facts and ignoring them. Ignoring them means like you just pretend they don't exist. Falsify means you change them to what you want them to be. And Deithard never changed what he wanted them to be. He simply ignored them, like the fact that Lelouch could have been the student. Because even like Cornelius said to him, "You didn't figure this out." So that's a good point. And let's see. Otherwise, he wanted to record what happened. Yeah, he did. That was his goal. Record things as they were. Okay, that was the point. He's simply a witness, a watcher, if you will. He's not to get involved. He just watches. And something else too with Deithard, they didn't mention, he's actually a pretty good assistant to Lelouch. He helped out in so many ways, like how he gave intel about Narita, or just his general like insights on what they should handle stuff, or how to handle certain situations. He actually was probably one of the best assistants Lelouch had. If there was like a top 10 like best picks Lelouch had on his team, he might be, besides Kage, he's like up there. Well, then Rock shot it too, of course. Okay, continuing on here. Paparazzi equals sociopath. Yeah. Have you seen the paparazzi? They're crazy. I've been to several concerts, and those people are nuts. Definitely nuts. Okay. Tamaki is like a cockroach. He just won't die. Yeah. I don't hate him, though. I mean, again, I don't hate Tamaki. He's just annoying, okay? That's why he gets us. He's like the guy who's always trying to help out, but he just gets in the way. He's like the guy who's like, "Hey, can I help out? Can I help out?" And he knocks over everything in your room. You're like, "Okay, look, dude. I like you a lot. But for the love of God, please get the hell out and let me do my thing." He's not a bad guy, but just get out of the way. Tamaki is overhated. Yeah, I never heard that term before, but I agree. He hated those that took pleasure in destruction, and he was also a very proud Japanese man. He looked down Suzaku for what he did. I don't know if that's racist or more nationalist. Yeah, it's not very clear. That's a good point. Yeah, there's a scene in stage 6. No. 5. Stage 5. Not 6. Was it 5? 4 was the rescue. Yeah, it was 5. 5. So in stage 5, he fights with Japanese with Suzaku. That's right. So he was proud of him being he was proud Japanese man, but was he racist or Britannia? There's so much already unknowns in Geass. We don't need to add headcanon. If that's how you want to see it, fine. I just don't remember there being like a Nina like part where it's like I hate Britannians. They're all evil individuals. He didn't trust Britannians, which, by the way, very reasonable. You don't trust the people conquering your country and massacred your people. That makes sense. Trust and racism is like, I don't know. I don't know if I would conflate the two. He really only showed anger at North Britannians during R1, episode 5. Students who were taking pictures. Yeah, and that was very that was reasonable because those students were celebrating the death of the Japanese people. They reveled in it. He's like, what the heck is wrong with you? I think even Yuffie was upset with that. Is Yuffie also racist to her own kind? No, a normal person who's not insane would be like, what are you doing? There's nothing wrong with you. Crimson King said again, or Hail Crimson King said, the AU pod right here. Yep, we went over him. He also was going to shoot the student council members even when Lelouch ordered him not to harm them. Now here's the thing, I don't know this for sure. Did he order them to not harm them before they went or after? I think he said, I told you not to do anything. Yeah, well, Tamaki's kind of a jerk. That I will admit, that was probably not one of his best moves. Now, it says here in the article he was going to execute them. No, he was just going to take the gun and smack one on the head with it because Tamaki was kind of exerting his authority in a very awful way. So yeah, that's true. But actually, that's one of the only reaction as anything possibly aggressive in that way. So it's a moment that definitely didn't age well. That's for sure. I also did he was Tamaki, but Tamaki who could actually perform his job. Yeah. I think we're talking about the AU pilot right here. I already forgot his name. That's how it's depressing. I can only store so much of my mind at one time. What was his name again? Patrick Colasar, yeah. Yeah, he was like Tamaki, but he actually was good. He was lucky, but he actually could fight in battle. He was actually lovable in his failure, where Tamaki was just getting cringely annoying. Um, he made a little sexist, saying that he was C2 superior. He may outrank her, however, it stretched. You know. Well, in that scene, he called her a dumbass, and then she got upset by that. And in fairness to Tamaki, though, Lelouch said that was his mistress. So from ranking level, he was higher than her, so she has to obey him. Now, he didn't. I don't recall him. He did say you were Lelouch's mistress, but I don't think he meant that in a sexist way. I think it was more of like, you're just a mere, you're nothing, and I'm an officer. You gotta do what I say. He also don't mention, by the way, that Tamaki is awful with money. He literally spent all the budget for the Black Knights in like the worst way possible. Not mentioned here though. Just from some food for thought. He's irresponsible with money. I mean, he was one of the last guys to betray Lelouch, and even at the very end when they were betraying him, he still was upset about it. So at least he was loyal. He got something there. 2 days ago, it was Suzaku's birthday. Yes, it was. I wanted to release an article about the his best quotes, but I kind of ran out of time. I'm still going to do that, by the way. Just won't be on his birthday. Oh well. Tamaki talks like he knows Lelouch when he was the emperor, abolishing the numbers, saying he was amazing, but in talking over UFN, he said, "I knew Lelouch was the villain." Yeah, that's basically his cringe level. It's like, see, I told you he was going to do that. And you're like, no, see, I told you we shouldn't do that. Like, how about the best one? Where, like, Colin wanted to go fight Shinkai, and Tom was like, yeah, go kick his butt. And then when Luke runs out of energy, he's like, no, I told you she should have gone out without refilling her energy. Yeah, Tamaki was what's the superhero from South Park? What the heck's his name? Hindsight Man. He was Hindsight Man. Yeah. All right. What was he got here? He was going to shoot when the student council tried to save Suzaku. Well, I mean, you could argue that's an act of war because Suzaku was an opposing combatant in war, but at the same time they were unarmed. Yeah, that was kind of messed up. I guess that's the part where he was going to shoot them. Okay, I must have missed that. I don't recall him preparing to shoot at them, but if he was, yeah, that was kind of messed up. No one says Tamaki is a good person. Okay, he's not. He's got a lot of problems, but hatred though, I don't know. Wait, was it Suzaku or the council? I'll have to look it up later. I think he deserves a lot of credit for being loyal at the very end, even if he was kind of naive about it. Yeah, well, so was Colin. Colin was naive too when she followed Lelouch. There's a part in stage 13 when he tried to shoot the cat. That's funny. In stage 13, when Lelouch killed the Katotsu, whatever, the general, he blows up the tanker, or the boat rather. When he blew it up, he told everyone like the Japanese killed themselves, we got to avenge them, and Colin's like, right. Like she believed all of his bullcrap. It was amazing. So Tamaki wasn't the only one who was naive in following Lelouch. So was Colin. Will she be on this list? I don't know. Because she's an angry person, hates everybody. That's a little callback from the last article. Oh god, that was bad. As is this. All right, let's move on. Number 6, people, is C2. Let me say that one more time. Number 6 on a list of hated Geass characters is C2. 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 I have never heard anybody say this. You kidding me? Does this person like live in an alternate universe besides the Geass alternate universe? I mean, like an actual alternative universe. She's one of the most, like, if you were to list the top 5, no, let's do 3. Top 3 most popular characters in Geass. Lelouch, C2, Colin. Done. There are no thing as complete absolutes in this world, but that's pretty darn close. How can you say that with a straight face that C2 is a hated character in Code Geass? That's like saying Colin had a horrible arc. Even in our last video. C2. If I could play copyright music, I would play Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, because I just did a Disturbed version, actually, because of just how awful this pick is. But let's read it, because look, obviously the entire fan base and people like don't know, right? We need to be educated. So let's find out what the problem with her is how she's used as mostly a plot device and nothing more. She's there to give Lucius powers, but she herself is shrouded in mystery, and nobody knows why she does what she does. She's shown me a lonely and detached person who rarely expresses herself emotionally. Due to this, many fans found it difficult to form an emotional bond with her. An emotional bond with her? Are you serious? This is one of... I know now things have changed because there's more anime shows that came out and more women. For the longest time, C2 was at the top waifu in everyone's list. Top waifu. How can she be someone's top waifu if people couldn't emotionally bond with her? Oh, my God. What? All right, let's just go through these points one after the other. Number one, she was a plot device and nothing more. No, that's not even close. Because she gave Lelouch an ability. You sure not confusing this with that girl from Guilty Crown? What the hell was her name? Reen? Was it Reen? That sounds wrong to me. I'm just so angry when I read her name. Guilty Crown. And even she wasn't really a plot device. What the hell is... I know Shu, but what was her name? Characters, please. There we go. Why'd I go to guy? That's not... Shu... What the heck? Shu Omohu. Okay. What the hell is her name? This is crazy. What the hell is her name? Alright, I feel like a dumbass, but what is her name? Carol? No, that's not. Inori. Jesus God. Okay. Apologies. So Inori, you could argue, might have been a plot device character, but C2 is not a plot device character just because. Okay, people don't understand what a plot device character is, which is someone who only exists for one thing and nothing else. Meaning, like, they're just there to get us to the next point, and they serve no other purpose in the story. And that's not what C2 did. You can argue the first episode she gave Lelouch power, but she guided him through using it. She helped him out because she's like 700 years old and she has like insane amount of wisdom, and she helps Lelouch figure things out. She was his emotional support. In some ways, his right hand woman when it came to figuring out problems in life. She did a lot for Lelouch in the story. She wasn't just a plot device. I'm not even gonna give these more into it. I've already discussed it too like 1,000 times over. This is absolutely insane. Okay, next thing. She herself is shrouded in mystery. Nobody knows why she does what she does. That is... Wow. Oh my God. Did you not watch R2? They literally go over her entire past. How she got her power to make people fall in love with her. And it didn't work out because no one loved her for real. And that's what she actually wanted in life. But because she was immortal and people kept dying, she didn't care anymore. She was emotionless because she lost so much in life. And what's the point if... When you're immortal, everything becomes pointless in life. So she understood that. And that's why she was depressed and angry. And she just wants someone to love her, okay? For her. And no one else did. You know, even Mao, that was completely unhealthy. She's shown to be a lonely and detached person. Oh, and one more thing. Nobody knows why she does what she does. No, Lelouch does, and that's important because that's why he falls in love with her. And, well, I think he does, right? That's my own headcanon. But he fell in love with her, and he helped her like move on, or not move on, but change to become someone who actually wanted to live. So someone did understand her. Okay, that's garbage. She's shown to be lonely and detached person, really expressing herself emotionally. Emotionally, that was kind of fast there. Second. Got some gas. Okay. Yeah, she was lonely and detached. That kind of happens when everyone around you has died, and you're all alone. And you live forever, right? You can't really form emotional connection with people if everyone you form a connection with is going to outlive you, right? Come on, guys. Really? And yeah, she didn't express herself emotionally, unless you consider anger an emotion. She also was kind of a dick to lose early on. When it came to those that mattered, she actually didn't express emotion. Read Renya of Darkness, and she was very, she was full emotions with all the people in that story. This is just awful. Why would anyone hate C2? I posed a question in my thumbnail, and I legitimately mean it. Why would anyone want to hate this character? It's because her desires are kind of weird because she wanted to die, but she also wanted to help the Ragnarok connection, which made all dead and living become one. I mean, the way I rationalize that those two things is that while she was alive, immortal wise, she was all alone. But with the Ragnarok connection, she would not be. She might be immortal, if that's what the Ragnarok connection does, because we never actually see it in action. But even if that was the case, she would actually be with other people, and she wouldn't be alone anymore. And she actually find someone who would love her. The reason why she wanted to die because she didn't believe she was nihilistic and depressed, and she went through so much hardships in her life. I'm just like, what? My God. If she were to put C2 on a list like this, she should be number 10 or not on it, because this is no fan that I know of hates C2. And no one who hates C2, which is, I'm not sure who does, no one has ever used any of these arguments before. I've never seen any of these. So that's, I don't know. I don't know. Crazy. Let's read some quick comments here. Okay. Time to destroy CVR. Yeah, they should quit. This person, by the way, wrote an article about Death Note as well, and people were like, what are you doing? Horrible writer. And I don't mean like I'm sure the guy's a nice person in real life, but just, come on, really? Iris Haw's article, I bet the author is a Colin Lelouch shipper. Oh, you subject yourself to this as well? You poor bastard. You know what? Could be. But like, if you are a Colin Lelouch shipper, nothing wrong with that, by the way. Just saying in the article, by the way, I hate C2 and like Colin. Okay. At least you're honest. Make your biases apparent. In my video about the relationships among the characters in Geass, specifically which one Lelouch loved, between Colin, Shirley, and C2, I said that I supported Colin and Lelouch and C2 and Lelouch. Now I support all three, but at the time I didn't. So I told you guys before the video even started why I chose what I did and my biases. And up front, so you're like, okay, I get it, because he is one of those. Yeah, I am. I told you. Not like, God. C2 is a strong and smart, plus she is a strategist. I'm not sure. Oh, a tritagonist. My bad. I can't read. A third important character series, plus she has a reputation and reward of being one of the best anime girls. Yeah. You can't be everyone's favorite waifu if people can't form emotional connections with you. That is so stupid. I guess she's always on a Geass waifu list, but I hardly see her on any anime waifu lists. Well, to that response, I would say nowadays, not so much. You're right. I've actually looked up some myself. I didn't see her on them. Many years ago, she was on top anime waifu list. The problem is there's so many girls now that have came out since her existence that she's kind of been overshadowed. There's actually a video on YouTube. I don't know the name of it, but it goes like the top waifus, through the years, and she was for the longest time on that. But yeah, there's so many more girls that come out over the years, so that makes sense. But yeah, that's true. Just look at my, I don't really have waifu lists, but if I had one, I also haven't seen anyone hate her. They may not ship her with Lelouch, but that's it. That's a small percentage. It's true. The common ship in Geass is C2 and Lelouch. The film, the film obviously made that more clear, even though it's an alternate universe. I found it hard to relate. I found it hard to relate to her because of how realistic some things seemed like. She says no one has ever thanked her, which is strange for being how old she is. Someone could have thanked her. Well, that's a good point. I think maybe she meant genuinely thanked her. The problem is when you are an immortal witch who gives out contracts to people, many of them tend to maybe thank you or like you because of the contract and not actually for you or genuinely care about you. I believe that's what she meant by that. The other thing too is consider when you look through her past, she was attacked a lot. She was beheaded. She was burnt alive. She was shot, and I'm not sure which war that was. Could have been World War I or II. I'm not sure. Every time they show her past through the flashbacks, she went through so much pain and suffering. Now, that doesn't mean no one's ever thanked her before. I believe in Reign of Darkness, they showed gratitude towards C2 when she helped out. So, I think what she meant by that was genuinely thanked her, and maybe not just for doing something that was like Geass contract based. I believe that's what she meant by that. But you're right. Obviously, I think she was being a little, I'll say hyperbolic, but that's not true. Facetious or maybe she was overdoing it a little bit. The problem also, she said multiple times, she doesn't remember anyone. Like she forgot so many things in her existence. That could be the reason why she said that. Everyone in her life fell into the vacuum of time. So it's very possible that no one's ever stood out who thanked her, or she forgot about it. Now there's definitely there's always some inconsistency there. That's a good point. I like the character, but I do agree that was kind of weird. And if we're gonna go further with C2, one thing they did in Reign of Darkness, which kind of pissed me off, is spoiler alert for Reign of Darkness, but let's be honest, it wasn't that great. There's a part where Dash died, and she gives a speech about how I said that the power of the king would isolate you. I guess that's not true, right, Dash? So she gave the same speech up to Dash, but he was dead at the time, or I think it's what happened to him. The same speech to Dash as she did for Lelouch, about they did that the power of the king wouldn't isolate you, which was kind of weird to me why she gave the same speech twice. I don't know. That manga in general did so much retconning. It's awful. One more comment before I actually come more before I continue. I can't say I hate any of these characters. The excuses they are using are flimsy at best, and at worst a complete misunderstanding of the character. I'd say story too, if we're gonna go that far. But yeah. Also, it seemed like her whole existence was horrible with no good moments. She mentioned she met a kind people, but that's only the good we hear about her past. Yeah, in Reign of Darkness, for example, the group of Renya and Alto and Claire and Shiori and I forgot the other guy's name. The one who works with Renya. He's her, I guess, servant. Yeah, they were all nice to her too. And there's other people who have been like Colin. If you want to talk about people actually more recently, Colin was nice to see too, and so was Cecile. And Suzaku wasn't exactly a hatred of her either. So the different people were nice to her. I just think Lelouch was the only one who was legitimately nice to her in the sense that he didn't expect anything back from her, and he wanted to show her a reality where she actually could be happy again. And 'cause I think I could be wrong. This could be completely a reach, okay? So could be a reach here, but they say that comedy comes from the darkest of places, right? People who are really happy or they appear happy are really angry and depressed. So it could be that C2 was happy around other people, but deep down she was really depressed and angry. We know that from certain comedians like Robin Williams, R.I.P., that even though he might have been happy on camera, he was actually secretly depressed. Unfortunately, too depressed. And C2 could have been the same situation where maybe she was just so angry and sad about the world that maybe she expressed it through hiding her emotions and being happy about stuff. I think Mary Jane did the same thing in Spider-Man. Her parents was it her parents or step-parents? I don't really, I forget who, but they were very abusive to her. and she also hid it from everyone else by acting always, happy and go getting, even though she was really upset, understandably, right? So hard to say. Again, that could have been a reach. Speaking of reach, number 5, Prince Schneisel. Okay, I guess that's fine. That works for me. Despite his good looks and charming nature, this young man is shown to be extremely cunning and manipulative person. Oh yeah. He has no regard for the life of any person, even those who are close to him. The best example of this would be gunning down his younger sister, who he was closest to, Cornelia. He does not show remorse or regret for all the murders he's committed. Yeah. For once, I don't entirely disagree with this take. In the sense that Schneisel was very... The thing about him, and Letter King and I had a back and forth on one of my videos discussing Schneisel. I actually want to do a video to go into his character, because I know that on YouTube, if you search for Geass, you'll find like a million Lelouch videos, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I like Lelouch's character, but like, there are other people you can talk about, guys, okay? For God's sakes, not everything's about Lelouch, even though everyone thinks it is. And one of those characters is actually Schneisel, and it's hard to say if he was a megalomaniac, a complete sociopath, because on some level, he had to, like Lelouch, he had to become something greater to help people out. The difference is that he thought the best way was to control people, because he believed people want to be controlled. And on some level, he wasn't even wrong. His ideas about how like religion and politics and all these different systems were just in place to control people. That was his ideology or his philosophy that he based his actions on, because he wanted to be, big brother. He wanted to be the guy that's like, okay, I'm just going to control you guys to the flip, because that's what you guys want anyways. Didn't someone, I believe it was it Cornelia who said, would you like do this to the people? And he's like, if I have to. And he's like, authority has like 2 different meanings. So yeah, Schneisel, yeah, I mean, he was kind of evil. Although ironically enough, during the Saz massacre, he's like, what madness is this? Even though that wasn't that bad compared to what he did. But again, he changed a lot too, which was kind of interesting. Now, since he has no regards for the life of any person, see, that's a little confusing, or not confusing. That's not entirely accurate. His philosophy was that, and again, I'm not saying this is a good thing, okay, and I'm not agreeing with it, but he thought by killing people, he was actually helping them, okay? I know that might sound backwards, okay, because it kind of is, but just like Shin Hyuga, he believed that killing these people was actually helping them out. He nuked Pendragon, killing his whole family, which, by the way, never comes up again. Why? But he killed his entire family, and his excuse was, it's better they die than live under Lelouch. I mean, I'm laughing not because it's funny, but I can't say it with a straight face. They should die instead of living under Lelouch. That was like his explanation for doing it. I mean, that was it. And the thing about Schneider too, and they don't mention it in the article, but this thing I again kind of went back and forth with Ladder King about, which was, should he have been punished for what he did? Because everyone talked about how Nina, nuked everyone. She didn't actually nuke everyone. She made the bomb that was fired, but depending on how you determine who's responsible for, like, who's more responsible, the guy who shoots the gun or who made the gun. I'm not going to argue that here, but the point I'm trying to make is that with Schneisel, he did order the deaths of lots of people and was going to go even further with it. He never seen any punishment for that, and that kind of pissed me off, because he should have received trial, possibly a chopping block, for that action. I know that with Nina, it was debatable if she should have been punished, but like, Schneider's the one who orchestrated everything, and I'm kind of surprised they never went that direction. In terms of like, he doesn't show remorse or regret. Again, it's not that he doesn't show remorse or regret. He legitimately believed this is the right thing to do to save everybody. So from his point of view, he shouldn't have to, because he believes it's the right thing to do. Again, it's kind of weird. And with Cornelia, he doesn't even kill her. I don't know if he was trying to kill her or not. That was always a question in my mind I couldn't figure out, because even Cornelia's like, I'm still alive, and I'm like, yeah, why are you still alive? I don't know. Shadow's definitely evil, for sure. And his response, and he's also quite cunning, as he said here. Which, again, of all of the takes, this is actually pretty good. Although I think they conflate his intentions and they kind of simplify him too much, which is something I did. So I think it's more complicated to simply say he just liked killing people. Those are truths, though. But why and the reasons behind it and how Schneizel was just trying to help mankind and make the world a better place. But God, his methods were terrible. So of all the characters on the list so far, I'm actually not upset with this one. I wish the arguments were better, though. Number 4, Lelouch's father. Oh God, Lelouch's father. Just say Charles Z. Bertin was? Oh, they didn't put a space. That's so weird, Lelouch's father. No, Charles Z. Britannia. Okay. The 90th Emperor of the Holy Britannic Empire, Charles Z. Britannia, who was shown to be Lelouch's father? Okay, it was definitely a typo. Because it says, like, Britannia was, who is shown to be. So, the was not intentional. That was a mistake. He's the main antagonist from the get-go. It's true. Even though his belief is correct, the fact that deceit is the cause of evil... Wait. Oh, even though his belief that the fact that deceit is the cause of evil is correct, his execution of this belief by not all humanity in order to have a peace in the world is what makes him truly evil. Charles didn't want to annihilate all of humanity. He wanted to bring the living and the dead together. A utopia by which no one dies or lives, we just exist. So, does that make him evil? No, it makes him misguided and foolish and idealistic and kind of crazy. Now, if you want to see why we hate Charles, there are plenty of reasons. Let's start with the most obvious. He abandoned Lelouch and Nunnally and made them pawns in Japan. I know he claimed it was like, oh, I was trying to protect you from V2. Don't you understand? I was trying to help you. Which is like, are you serious? How was any of that helpful? You put me with a bunch of you put me with a crazy Suzaku in a foreign country. I had a friend of my own. Nunnally was going to marry Suzaku's dad. How on earth was that helpful to any of us? So, if you want to start with why people hate Charles, go with that, because that's probably your best argument. There's a lot of reasons to hate him, by the way. You know, he didn't care when Yuffie massacred everyone at the SAS, which was kind of weird because he wanted to make a gentler world for Nunnally, but so did Yuffie. She also wanted a gentler world. So why was he like one but not the other? I don't know. That's beyond me. But and the other thing about Charles, I mean, I don't know if he was if he didn't care about what the people were doing, if he supported the racist actions of the Britannic Empire, or simply let his, siblings or generals handle it. I'm not sure which, but let's assume, for the sake of argument, that he was okay with it. He was probably racist then, right? He's the leader of the country does evil things. You can kind of assume he was probably racist. Of course, you can then argue the other direction, that he wasn't actually, he just was wearing a mask. And pretending to be this way because he wanted to conquer the world, to get all the different entrances to C's world and the whole connection, the Ragnarok connection. But you could argue that was the reason behind that. You can go back and forth on it, but I think some of what he said about like humanity and strong live and the weak die, that type of stuff. Nothing too crazy. And to me, the only thing he talks about is the fact that he just wanted to unite humanity to have peace. Yeah, that's a pretty bad take, because that might be the only redeemable thing about him. Not that the fact he wanted to do that, but he legitimately, like, in his own weird way, just like Schneizel, wanted to help out people. And much like Schneizel, he had no idea what the heck he was doing. So, I agree that he was evil, but not for these reasons. Pretty bad take. But he should be on the list. That I understand that. Number 3, Nunnally v. Britannia. Okay, let's spell her name right. 2 N's. Congratulations, guys. I would clap, but okay. Seabear's not worth the clap. Anyhow, Nunnally v. Britannia is your typical shonen sister character trope Someone who's complete useless offers nothing to the plot, but exists to show how weak women are. What? And how their only worth in a shonen series is to view them as a loving sister, mother tropes, or sexy Sundara love interest trope. I'm laughing because it's just it's such projection. What are you talking about? How are you? Oh my lord! All right, before we get into this, let me read some comments. Just look away from the screen for a couple seconds. I can't believe what I just read. I mean CBR, but still, my God. Okay. Where are we? Oh, what's interesting is that we've already lived in Schneider's role pretty much. Yeah, that's true. Schneider is a very complex character and does evil things, but I haven't seen many people hate him, especially put number 5. Yeah, he's definitely not on the hated category for people in Geass. I definitely agree. I personally put him on my list, which maybe we can go over and read my awful grammar about who I think the worst characters in Geass are, or at least ones I didn't like the most. But yeah, Shadow's not hated, and I'm not saying he should be hated, but as I said before, like if you're gonna hate Nina, like everyone hates Nina Einstein for what she did, you have to put Schneisel up there as well, and people don't do that. It's so confusing to me. Literally saw End of Evangelion and was like, "This is a genius. Let's do that." Well, they didn't have TVs. Yeah, there's a lot of copying between that show and Geass. I actually wanted to do a video to discuss that at some point. I was disappointed in how Charles was taken down easily as he was. The show built a loose hate for him, and his downfall was a letdown. Yeah, not only that, but like he turned out to be not the main antagonist. It actually was Schneisel at the end. Yeah, Charles, like they had a good setup with him. He became immortal, and then the Ragnarok connection happened, and Lelouch simply said, "Yeah, I reject your philosophies. Collective consciousness. Please don't stop time." And she didn't, and that was it. That was basically the entire conflict. Yeah, it didn't. Considering Lelouch's goal was to get revenge for his mother and make a gentler world, well, we know that gentler world for Nelly was the top priority, but even still, yeah, it was kind of a letdown. I'm not sure if Charles should have been the final protagonist, or antagonist, but the way that they handle it, yeah, it could have been better. I definitely agree with that one. R2 had a lot of problems. I'm not gonna lie. Why wasn't Charles Geass something like forcing people to be truthful or something like that? Considering he hates lies and deceits, why was it to be right memories? I have no idea. I guess I'm not sure how that would work. Like, if he forced people to be truthful, so like, it would be like Rawls' ability where he makes like a barrier or an area around you, and if you're in this little, I guess, area, you can only say the truth. Or if he puts his Geass on someone, they have to speak the truth. Wouldn't that be kind of crazy? Like, can you imagine if your Geass power made people tell the truth? It'd be like liar, liar, but to everybody. God, that'd be awful. That'd be awful. I mean, for the people, not for Charles. I don't think it's what. I can see your point. I think the whole memories thing was like, well, if I guess if I can control your mind, I can decide what you would like or not like. I don't know, or say or not say. I don't know. I agree. The Geass power should reflect your behavior. One complaint I had about Reign of Darkness was that Shiori's ability was to change people's priorities, and my main question was, when does Shiori ever talk about people's priorities in Reign of Darkness? Never. So why would that be her ability? So I definitely see where you're coming from there. Next comment. How weak women are. Yes, Colin, Cornelia, Layla, Ayano, hell, even Shiba are all weak. Truly nothing is fishy about this sentence. You could even argue Euphemia was a very strong person. Not because she could, physically get into battle, but she was emotionally a very powerful person, being willing to give her claim to the throne, which is something that Clovis nearly died to keep and did awful acts to keep it to keep his claim. She gave it up to help Lelouch and Nunnally. So there's different types of strengths, obviously. But yeah, no, that's Koga has a lot of powerful women in the story. That's such crap. How is Nunnally hated? Well, I don't hate the character. I just didn't like her, and it's not because of these reasons. I can't remember exactly why. I think it was more of like I wish she had more. She did more in the story and wasn't just always kidnapped. That kind of pissed me off. Did a lot of that in the story. And it's okay once in a while, okay, but that's all it's to do with her. And the other thing too that people don't like about Nunnally, this is actually I think a very valid point. When when she learned Lelouch was doing the whole time, she got really pissed at him. And she's like, I didn't want any of this, okay? I just wanted to be with you. Why would you do this to me? And the thing that pissed me off was she was acting like they could live together forever under Britannian rule forever. And that was not the case. Lelouch made it very clear early on in the story that like they can't be here forever. What's going to happen when he graduates high school and she's there by herself? You know, there was no real future for these people. Lelouch had to do this so they could live and survive. They were literally hunted. They had to take a false identity just so they could live, you know, live the day-to-day life. But they were still hunted. Okay, they couldn't live in actually a normal life. So people were angry at Nunnally because she was ungrateful for what Lelouch was doing for her. And to some extent, I do agree because she was thinking so like narrow-minded, like I just want to live with you. It's like I agree, I will be with you too. But no one else does, and that's the problem. And you're not seeing that, and that's what pissed off people about Nunnally's character. And in the film, they actually Lelouch the Resurrection, they I guess retconned it or whatever because Nunnally apologized to Lelouch about her attitude and how she didn't realize what he was doing, and he was bearing this whole burden of trying to make a world better place for them and finding Britannia. She understood then what was going on. That's why she was really upset. I believe that in the show too, like she was crying and stuff, because I think the whole time she realized that he was doing all of this so they could be together. And the fact that she couldn't figure that out when they were in the Democles is why people hated her. In case you're wondering, that's the reason people don't like the character. Not this crap. Nothing here is accurate. It's almost like that, I don't like The Last Jedi, but I like that part where Kylo tells Luke, like, I think all Jedi are gonna die or something, and it's over. And Luke's like, everything you just said was absolutely not true. And that's the same thing with this. And that's why this point is terrible. But that's why people didn't like Nunnally's character. And I kind of go in that direction too because she was completely unwilling to see his perspective, which is kind of weird because she was kindled with the Democles, so she had no leg to stand on. I think she said that too when they were talking, but it didn't seem that way. You know, it was kind of odd to me. Let me read some thoughts on this before I keep going. The only thing I hated about people hating Nunnally is because she fought against Lelouch, and then you saw things like Raul deserved Lelouch much more than her. I've never heard that idea that Raul deserved more than Lelouch. Okay, that's a good. I've never heard that. That's not a bad theory. Raul was really mind fudged by Lelouch. That is 100% accurate. I would argue that they weren't being hunted at the beginning. Before the show, they were listed among the dead, so if they had remained as nothing more than commoners, they might have been unnoticed. When I say hunted, like, I mean, yeah, they weren't declared dead, but if they ever, like, resurfaced, they'd be attacked, they would go after them, like the Japanese government or whoever at the time, right? You're right. They probably could go unnoticed as commoners, but it's the idea that they ever got discovered, they ever found them, they'd be screwed because they were still in hiding, right? If they weren't being hunted, they wouldn't have to be in hiding. That's the thing you gotta understand. Like, that was the point. Otherwise, they can go anywhere they want, right? So they were in hiding, so obviously they were being hunted. At least Lelouch thought that. I mean, after all, he was centered by the strongest, most powerful man in the world, and apparently evil too. So that's the thing I would say about that. Also, some fans I've seen emphasize that they love a character because how blindly they are loyal to Lelouch. Yeah, that's true. I've seen that as well. Dead during the original occupation. Oh, were you continuing your point there? It was dead. Yeah, again, just to say one more time. If they were hiding, they were being hunted. At least that's how Lelouch saw that. Personally to me, Olerin was Olorin was, besides Layla, the best female protagonist of the anime slash manga. Now, I haven't actually, I haven't read Oz Reflection yet. I've only seen the video that goes to like the whole story. I've only read, okay, that's not true. I read what you can in English. If I had the money, okay, if I had the money, I'd hire someone to translate the entire manga from Japanese to English just so I can read it. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm so gassed today. I can't afford it, but I would love to do that. And I wish the creators of Geass would just animate that series, that manga. I know they want to do Deithard Capture. I know we're getting announced for next month, which is kind of exciting. But can we please animate Oz Reflection? That'd be so cool. And you know what? To like, if they're watches, which they never will, but like, Lelouch is in the story. So you win-win. You know, you get Lelouch, another story with Lelouch. You get another perspective of the events of R1 and R2. You get an awesome female character, cool nightmare frames, Wizard of Oz themes. Please, make it happen. And lots of fan service, because we all love fan service. But I do agree, though. Like, from what I've seen all around, I like her character a lot. And Layla, she's one of the best. So how could they say women are weak? Yeah, I don't get that either. Considering Kokia has a lot of strong women. Now they are sexualized, especially in R2, but that's so weird. I mean, it's like you could say Nelly represents weak women, but Cornelia represents strong, authoritative women with good leadership abilities. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't say you should be grateful considering Lelouch killed Yuffie and hurt lots of people all for her. That's a fair point, but consider the fact that I'm talking like the grander scheme of everything he's been doing. That includes the events before the SAS, after the SAS, right? And the point, she didn't see any of that. No, you're right. He did kill Yuffie. I believe she knew that, by the way. I don't think they ever discussed that. But I believe she did know that. What I'm saying is that she didn't see any of that from his perspective. She only saw him as an evil person who was doing things she never wanted, and as a result, despised Lelouch as a demon. And the point I'm making is that she never considered any reason why he was doing what he was doing. If it was right or justified, she outright hated him. That's the point. You could definitely argue that some things Lelouch did were terrible and didn't deserve any recognition. But the overall rebellion to help her out is something that she didn't even acknowledge. And that's why people hate the character. You could definitely argue that maybe if they didn't keep kidnapping her, I might have liked her better. But that was my problem with her. That whole conversation at the end was just, it wasn't that great. If we're being honest here. But yeah, you look, and this is just my opinion. You could definitely argue that she was absolutely right what she said about Lelouch, that he was completely wrong. I didn't want this. We could have found another way. And they could have found another way. I mean, Lucius Geass made people do what he wanted. He could have theoretically used it on the right people, and they could have lived in peace and never had this whole conflict to begin with. They could disappear off the face of the earth. There are more than one way. There's more than one way to peel a banana, or that's not the expression. God, I'm like Omi now from Shaolin Showdown. But anyways, there's more than one ways to do it. So you can go that route too. Just saying what I think most people who didn't like her were thinking. And I kind of felt that way too, because the conversation between the two was not the greatest. We got from Tiger Chase, poor Nelly. I agree with that one. I'll give Nelly this. Though that Lelouch never asked her what she wanted, we know why she did what she did. We know why he did what he did, but he never asked Nelly herself. So all the bloodshed and destruction was done. Are you saying that... Oh, Nelly had no idea that Lelouch was doing this, and more importantly, he never consulted her on it. True? Well, Nelly would have said no, let's be honest, but yeah. Under her name, she never got to say it. Okay, or have a say in it, right. That's true. That's a fair point. Yeah, another thing that needs to be translated is the light novels, because I believe some of them only have like a single sentence converted in English, and apparently have no neat lore bits. Yeah, but there's so much Geass stuff that has to be translated. I wish they'd focus on that than making new content, because some of that old stuff could be really good. And the light novels for sure. Some of the manga is not officially translated. I think even some of the well, I think you said our light novels. Yeah, I want to read some of those too. They actually are pretty good. She knew Geass caused Yuffie to massacre, so yeah, she knew. Did they discuss that in the show? I'm having like a massive blank. Did they discuss that? I don't remember that. You're probably right. I just don't remember them actually discussing it back and forth. She might have known. Maybe she might as well mention it, but yeah. All right. Well, either way, she is a hated character for sure for some people. I wouldn't put her 3 though. I think that's a little extreme. Hey, can you guys guess what number 2 is? Who do you think number 2 is? Remember, this is a CBR, and they don't have any standards, and they go with like a standard opinion of who likes what without doing much research into it. If I had a drum roll, I'd play it, but you're right. It's Suzaku. Oh, sorry, I covered Nina. Well, you already do, let's be honest. Suzaku, wow, what a surprise. Suzaku is the most hated character. Jeez, wow. Oh my god. Yeah, it's Suzaku. Let's see why, though, because, God, Suzaku's hatred. I mean, you know a guy is hated when I have to do an entire video defending him against CBR of all people. Oh boy, let's read this. People who love Lelouch hated Suzaku, and for good reason. Even though Zero's methods may be questionable, he was getting a job done that absolutely no one else would. However, Suzaku was blind loyalty? Suzaku was blind loyal. Oh, okay. Alright. This is me not being able to read. However, Suzaku's blind loyalty to an empire that treated his own people no better than livestock. His betrayal of Lelouch and his stubbornness to turning a blind eye to his own actions is what makes him number two most hated character from the series. Alright. Just curious, what does this lead to? I'm sure it's relevant. Are you serious? Wow. Guys, the link to here should have been updated to like think about Suzaku nobody understands. I hate it about CBR. They always post articles or links, I should say, that have none of anything. Okay. Let's try to go through this in as quick as possible because Suzaku is a very complicated character and people hate him, but it's completely understandable. I get it. One thing I don't like is that Zero's method may be questionable, but he was getting a job done that no one else would. So basically, because Lelouch succeeded, the end justified the means. So this person obviously believes that. That's totally fine. That's again, that's their point of view. Suzaku turned a blind eye to the Empire. No, he didn't turn a blind eye to the Empire. What he did was he agreed to join it with the intention to change it from within. He made it very clear to Lelouch that Britannia could be a great empire one day, or a great nation, and he wanted to change it from within. That was his. The difference between the two of them is that they both wanted to alter the reality of the situation. Lelouch wanted to destroy the empire and start over. Suzaku wanted to take what was there and kind of work within to fix it and make a change for the better. That was the difference between the two of them. So he didn't turn a blind eye. I know people say that, and I just don't agree. I don't think he turned a blind eye. Now, I will say it is kind of odd how in many parts of the story, he didn't really care too much that his people were killed, or at least he didn't seem like he cared. There is definitely some truth to that. For example, when the gas was released and killed everyone, he didn't seem to be too upset about it. Granted, we don't know. It didn't seem like he was. Or even during the SAS, right? Everyone's being massacred around him. His only concern was finding Euphemia, so that was kind of weird, if I'm going to be honest with you. And the other thing too was Suzaku, he did everything he could because he wanted to become the Knight of One and take control of Japan and hopefully help his people out. That was his plan. He had to unfortunately do some awful things because when you move up in a tyrannical government, you might have to do some awful things to do that. For example, they had to kill all the remaining JLF members at the port. I forgot the name of it right. I think it's Yokosuka. And so he had to do stuff like that. So I understand the whole point of like, he worked for an evil empire. Yes, an evil racist empire. His thought was, I would do these awful things, but eventually there'd be something at the end where I would gain a leadership position and I could make change from within. That was his thought. You also believe that if you also can't, as you said, denying everything society is pointless, meaning that Britannia's in charge now, okay? I don't like that, but they are. So I'm going to work within this awful government and make the change and win. That was his thoughts about it. Was he right? It's hard to say because the show had Lelouch's ideals win in the end, and Suzaku ultimately abandons these ideas to go with Lelouch as well. So it's quite complicated. It's not as simple as the article makes it seem like. And then it says his betrayal of Lelouch and his stubbornness to turn a blind eye to his own actions is what makes him number 2. Betrayal of Lelouch. I'm not sure what they're talking about. You could argue that the that stage 17 was turns in was a betrayal because Zaku was unknown of what was going on. Lelouch was captured. When he brought him to Charles, that wasn't a betrayal. Lelouch was the enemy of the country, but more importantly, he killed Yuffie. It was revenge. It wasn't betrayal. That's really odd to me. Even Lelouch didn't call it a betrayal. His stubbornness to turn a blind eye to his own actions. Was that he was stubborn? That's true. But turned to a blind eye. It wasn't like he turned a blind eye. He acknowledged what he was doing. He was very, very aware of that. I don't get that at all. But yeah, look, like it's in the article, which actually is true. Many characters were created to be hated. Suzaku was one of them, and he was the antagonist to Lelouch for most of the series. So you're not supposed to like him, and his philosophies and ideas are supposed to be rejected in favor of Lelouch's. That's a common. That was one of the goals of writing Suzaku. I think it was, anyways, to show like an alternative point of view, but the point of view that will ultimately be rejected. And Lelouch is the one that actually wins out. So, is he the most hated character? Oh God, no. It's Nina, but he's up there. Of all the people on the list, Suzaku I see all the time. So at least the person looked at Reddit maybe once in their life. We'll go one more and then read some comments, and maybe I'll go through my article. I have a little bit of time left. Let's see, what time is it? 1:30. Okay, I guess we can do that. All right, number 1, Nina Einstein. Initially, Nina was a shy classmate of Lelouch's. However, over the course of the series, she evolved into a character that fans could not get behind. No, fans could not get behind her immediately because she was racist. But she invented the nuclear weapon of mass destruction called Leia. She shows no remorse or constraint while using the weapon. Kills innocent classmates because of her personal grudge, and is all-around racist who believes the decimation of every other race that stands in the way. Nina takes the cake when it comes to being Koki's most hated character. Oh my God, what are you talking about? Holy crap! All right, let's go through some of these. Okay, number 1, she shows no remorse or constraint while using the weapon. Okay, just so you know, you didn't watch the show, but when they made the Flea, there actually was a constraint on the weapon because they didn't want it to go too crazy and kill too many people. Not saying it didn't kill lots of people to begin with, but just keep in mind, they actually did put a constraint on the weapon. Schneizel removed it, which was really messed up. So there was actually a constraint. Number 2, she used that weapon only to kill Zero. She wasn't like interested in killing a bunch of people. It was just to stop Zero in the Black Knights. 3, she showed tons of remorse. She literally was crying to Lloyd about how she killed all those people, and she couldn't understand the numbers. She couldn't understand the inaction. She calculated the numbers, she made the weapon, they did the test, it was all hunky-dory, but then when they used it in real life, it killed lots of people, and she couldn't grasp the ramifications of her actions. But when it actually happened, she was extremely upset about what happened. And it's because of that she joined Lelouch to stop Schneizel. So what are you talking about? It was her remorse, among other reasons, that made her join Lelouch at the end. That's a horrible take. Now, did she show no remorse in using the weapon initially? Sure, but once it was used, I mean, she was definitely upset about it. She let rage and revenge consume her, and that's what ultimately happened. Next point. She killed innocent classmates. Are you talking about the end of the show of R1? Um, yeah, she didn't kill anyone, by the way. It meant to say she was going to. But again, keep in mind that Nina is mentally unstable, so not justifying anything, okay? Just keep that in mind, not justifying anything. But she was mentally unstable, so yeah, of course she was gonna kill everyone. It didn't. Yuffie was everything to her. She worshipped her like a celebrity or an artist or whatever. It was idolatry almost. It was crazy stuff. Um, and she of course was obsessed with her in a love way too. One-sided, of course, as far as we know. And so that's what she was gonna do. What she was doing. People would point out too. Why would she kill innocent classmates? Why would she do that? They're her friends. How do we know her friend? Nina is crazy. She's shy. She looks down on people. She has a clear, high opinion of herself. Or no, she doesn't. She has a low opinion of other people. And we know among her, the classmates that she was totally friends with, I don't think she ever liked Shirley. She was jealous of Millie. I don't know what she felt about Lelouch, honestly, until, like, obviously she found out who he was. But she was not a sociopath, but she didn't like anybody. She was kind of crazy. An all-around racist who believes decimation of every other race stands in the way. No, Nina was not that type of racist. She was not a racist that believed other races need to die and stand out of the way. What I find kind of funny about this is that, as far as I know, she never showed any racism towards any other, I guess, races, right? Black, Hispanic, none of that. Like, she never said anything about Valletta. Did she ever meet Valletta? I don't think so, but I don't recall her ever making any comments about Valletta. Or anyone like her. Or Rakshata. Did you hear, like, when she sees Rakshata at the end of R2, did she say any comment because she's Indian? I don't think so. The only race she couldn't stand was the Japanese people. And if we're going to go further with that, it wasn't that she wanted them to decimate our race in a way. She was afraid of them. Her racism wasn't that I need to kill everyone. It was more like I'm terrified of them. She was afraid of Japanese people. She never wanted to kill any of them. She wanted to stay the heck away from them. When Zaku comes to school, she's like, oh, we got an 11 in school. I'm scared. She wasn't like, give me a gun, Dudley. I'm going to kill this stupid Japanese, no, this stupid 11. Okay? No, it wasn't that she wanted to kill every race. She was afraid of Japanese people. And only Japanese people, by the way, as far as we know. But apparently, she got over her racism. How do we know this? Don't know. But I just find that funny. That's such a blanket statement. It's like, I'm not saying Nina's a good person, and there's a reason why she's hated. It's all manipulative. They made her ugly, thin, aggressive, and threw all their stuff in there too. So if you hate Nina, it's because they did a good job making a hateable character. But I just find it funny that they took all of her traits that were not great and they amplified them. It's so hyperbolic. She hated all races. She wanted to kill everybody. She showed no remorse for any of her actions. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. Nina takes the cake when it comes to being Kogat's most hated character. Don't you mean she rubs the bed the wrong way? Or table, I should say. Ay. Look, there's nothing safe about picking Nina as like the most hated character. So, look, it's a safe pick in choosing her. So there's that's fine. And if you don't like Nina, that's totally fine too. You go in any forum and people give their reasons. Ironically enough, though, if you say, wait a minute, but doesn't Lelouch freak out? Isn't Millie also sexually perverted? Isn't Schneizel also a megalomaniac? Isn't Alicia Lomar also really racist? Yeah, but table coup. You get that argument a lot. That poor table. And that's fine, whatever. I don't take this crap seriously. I just find it funny that people don't see the hypocrisy in their own arguments. Alright, let's look at some comments. Am I right or wrong, guys? Let me know. Okay. Well, I guess he was searching for an answer. Oh, my bad. I think I missed the Suzaku part. Let's see. I missed a lot of comments. Let's see. Okay, it's Suzaku. It ain't gonna be shocked. Okay. from the series, it's hyperlinked to a fan theory article. Yeah, CBRs know what the hell they're doing. The ironic thing is that they're saying that Suzaku was misguided by trying to change Britannia from within. When the ending of the series, Suzaku was changing Britannia from within. um, I want to say something about this comment. I made a fact list about Suzaku, and see if I can find it real quick because you just like 1 second. I have to mention because you hit it on the head there. 1 second. Suzaku facts. I'm not tooting my own horn, but you did for me. So let me just. I wrote an article. Here it is. Come on, for God's sakes, load. Okay, so at the very end of the article, it lists all the facts about Suzaku. And I think it was the very end. I said, yeah, he proved that his philosophy was not wrong. Because you're right. Because in the end, they both made peace from within. That's a very good point. And people don't understand that. I find that funny. He worked with Lelouch to take over Britannia and then change it from within, right? Because they had the whole UFN sign to agree to become one nation. Nelly became in charge. Zero was taken care of by Schneisel, right? They changed the whole system from within, following the rules technically with a little bit of enforcement. So I kind of like how at the end of the series both sides got what they wanted. Lelouch used certain level of force and aggression to get what he wanted, and Suzaku had to make change from within. So good point there, actually. I'm glad like someone thought about that besides myself. I'm not some guru or some intellectual. I find that amazing. My only major problem with Suzaku is how he believed a midget man about magic. That's great. Thank you. That made me laugh. Like Schneisel and the recorder in R2. Yeah. Yeah, Suzaku was very yeah, he was gullible for sure. I mean, V2 wasn't even wrong, but yeah, that's true. What, Nina? What a surprise. I know, King. Why would they put Nina on this list? You know, like I was shocked. Well, I guess he was searching for an answer to why Yuffie would do such a thing. I don't think he truly believed until he removed Zero's mask. I must have said something. I missed the context behind that. Bradley is on the list. Literally the worst person in the show. Not on the list. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. By killing classmates, I think the author is saying like there's no way some students didn't die in the Flea bombing with how large the blast range was and how close it came to the school. I agree, but if you're going to talk about killing classmates, why discuss killing anybody? She killed millions of people. It's just weird to say innocent classmates. I think it's because if you go to CBR's article, I don't think this guy wrote it. I hope the guy he didn't. But if you go to another article they've written, I talked about it months ago. Is this a roll cage? I'm not reading this freaking trash. So it was Nina Einstein. So if you go down to here, and I cringe because I hate this article, but if you go into the, where was it? Yeah, she was going to kill up the academy with the granny maid. So I believe that's what they're referring to. But you could be right too. But at the same time, though, again, like, how's that any different from anyone else? I don't know. She's the Lovecraft style of a racist where just scared of people who are different. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you hate her because she's innocent, she killed lots of people, didn't Lelouch do the same many times? Like, it's true. Lelouch, Cornelia, Schneisel, again, it's just so bizarre to me. Like, the hatred for Nina, you can apply to anyone else. And even Kato, who, shout out to Kato, by the way, he's like the best Geass YouTuber out there. Even he pointed out the hypocrisies of people hating Nina Einstein. It's so bizarre. Like, even he pointed out. I was like, yeah, thank you, dude. I'm glad someone who actually, like, could look at this objectively and say, okay, I get table, you know, screwing a table is what it is. But besides that, what's the reason here? Ed Dorf, Chase, my bad, didn't see your reply just now, but yeah, I guess I couldn't see Suzaku believing it was just for an angle, but he managed to jump in immediately. Okay. I wish they explained the fear of the Japanese. I heard theory that something happened to her in one of the ghettos. Yeah, there's this like theory that she was raped. Did I see that on YouTube? She was raped. Forcefully people forced themselves on her. That's the supposed rumor. We kind of get a glimpse of that because when she's talking to Millie, and she's like, Millie's like, don't worry, we'll be safe and stuff. I think that's what they were talking about. I think. But yeah, that was the context there. All right, so what I'm gonna do now for the last, I guess, 20 minutes. I don't want to go too much longer with this. Plus, my camera's gonna die any minute, so I don't know how much time I have left. I do have a bonus battery, so I could recharge if I had to. All right. I wanted to go through my list of the most hated characters. Here it is. Absolutely loathe. Now, I will admit that I wrote this article, and there are probably some things that I got wrong. So, and my spelling grammar is terrible, by the way, and I just want you to know. So let's go through mine real quick. I'm not going to read each of my points. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Now, I said worse means that I couldn't stand them, or what the characters contribute to the plot, or lack thereof. I challenge myself not only is Nina nor Suzaku number 1 or 2, they're not even on the list. So I try to be different, you know, because it's so easy to pick the obvious people. All right, here we go. Number 10, I picked Millie Ashford. Now, the reason why I picked Millie Ashford is because her perversion attitude early on in the series really pissed me off. Especially the way she groped Shirley a lot. I couldn't stand that. If you like fan service, you probably like the character. And the other thing too is that they tried to have this this thing with her where she was getting set up with people to get married, and it's fine, right? They tried to give her some personality and some deeper aspects, but God, the filler of her was just so annoying. I mean, she's even aware of it. There's a quote in or I quote a part. What was it in turn 5, where she said, like, you know, in life filler stuff happens and that's okay. And I'm like, at least you're aware of it. I will say that once she graduates from Ashford, she's actually a great character, because at that point she's a newscaster and actually kind of she's actually kind of relevant to the plot. But during her time in Ashford, I couldn't stand the character. I wrote a lot of examples here about why I didn't like her. I'm not going to go into all the details, but again, if I summarize it, it's the fan service stuff and why she was groping people. I just don't know. It was hard for me to take some stuff of her seriously, but yeah, it could be better. All right, Valletta. Now this one, I might take this off the list, because when I think about it, I don't think Valletta was actually the worst character in Code Geass. But the reason why I said was because I felt like her ambitions didn't mean anything by the end of the series, because she wanted to become a baroness and eventually chose the life of Ohgi, and I was like, why did she do that? She kind of reminded me of a typical character who had goals to become something greater in herself, and kind of just became a typical housewife towards the end. I thought there was something greater they were doing with her. And I hated the fact that the memory loss thing. I think it was a cheap and horribly written way to get her off the show. They could have done so many more things with the character. Maybe even explain what happened there. So it wasn't like I don't hate the person. I hate what they did with the character, to be more clear. And I did say, to reiterate one more time with this list, that you know, it could be the plot or the character themselves. So just something to think about. I might take her off, though, because deep down, she was, yeah, I think maybe it was more of like the way she was in the story than herself. So that's what I think about. Mao. If you guys watch my videos, you know that I actually, I didn't like Mao. And the problem with Mao is that it's like, in one end, I'm like, okay, the purpose of Mao is that we learn new things, I mentioned here. But also, like, he's the reason why Shirley's out of the story for so long. So I'm like, I didn't like that at all. And he also brought up, like, the whole issue that people have, like, how could they've been healed by Britannian science? And I'll get to that one of these in turn videos. But it's just, that was a problem I didn't like with Mao's character. And one end, I'm like, okay, he does have an important role. I watched Kato's video, by the way, and it was really good, by the way. We discussed, like, Mao's role in the story. But anyway, I didn't look forward to him. I liked the character. I think he was overpowered too. I mean, for someone with that ability, that was a little OP. I'm not sure why Lelouch didn't use his Geass on him. Can you imagine if he did use it on him, but I tell him like, hey, obey me. Can you imagine if Lelouch had Mao under his control? Oh my god. That would have been so bad. Jeez. I'm glad that never happened. That could have been like the worst thing ever. So Mao's low on the list because he does contribute to the story, but I don't look forward to his parts in the anime. Like it's one part I'm like, I'm not looking forward to this. No, I'm talking about the part. You're right, but I'm talking about when Lelouch tells him like never speak again. Very cool. He says like Mao, never speak again. So during that scene, he could have said Mao, serve me. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you're right. He wore the glasses, but that one scene he didn't. So that's what I was trying to point out there. Okay, I'll go through the comments after one more. Rivel, Kadamoni. Okay, I didn't like Rivel because he was a typical best friend character. He kind of reminded me of Sunahara from Planet, only worse. He was a simp to Millie. I guess that's fine. He was just annoying. He was like Tamaki, but in school life for Lelouch. If I was like pick up a character trait to resemble that, that's what he reminded me of. It's like, oh, he followed Lelouch everywhere, and he was kind of a fanboy again, just like Tamaki. It was kind of annoying. I use the word hate. I'm being a little hyperbolic though. I don't think I really hated him, but God, he was annoying. At least there was some importance to the story later on, but I don't know. I guess maybe they could have maybe had him and Millie been a couple in Resurrection or something. I don't know. But anyways, that's Rivel. It's funny, he wasn't even on the list. And what's also funny too, they didn't put Mao on the list, and people don't like Mao's character, so I don't know. Next character, Schneisel. So my Schneisel is number 6. I think they put him like, what was it? To go back here. 5. So we're kind of in tandem there with Schneisel. And the point I made again was the fact that he didn't receive any pleasure for what he did, and he was the reason for all the awful things that occurred, especially with the Flea. And I have like 4 questions here, like, who funded the creation of the Flea? Who removed the limiter? Who manipulated Nina and Nelly to use the Flea? Who destroyed Pendragon and wanted to kill billions more? So I'm like, yeah, he was kind of an evil person, but he also was kind of intelligent and smart. That's why I go back and forth with him. But yeah, I point out here he gets like no jail time, no execution. There's no consequences for his actions. There's even a scene where he flirts with Cornelia at Ohgi's wedding. I'm like, yeah, that was really creepy. I didn't mention it in the other in this point here, but like Schneisel, I think, had a thing for Cornelia, which was kind of odd. So, so that's why I didn't like his character. I think as as someone who is intelligent and a good adversary to Lelouch, he's perfect. But man, he pissed me off. That's why he was on there, right? Especially when there's no consequences for his actions. What? Okay. One more, then we'll get to I'll read some comments. I'm running out of batteries. I might put a new one in soon. Worst Kogias character, Shinichiro Tamaki. All right, so basically, Tamaki, as I said, he's an average person who likes Zero. He utters so much nonsense, and he's cringy, which is true. And basically, my problem with him, he was a cheerleader, a fanboy, really annoying, cringeworthy. At least he was funny and a decent Nightmare Frame pilot. Although, I mentioned here that if you guys have read this, Lancelot and Gorin, which is a manga, they get this new person who joins the group. She was one of I think she was at the SAS during the massacre, and she helps like Colin and escape and keeps her in hiding. She joins the Black Knights. She pilots, I believe it was a Burai. Excuse me, a Burai. And she fights Tamaki. And she's a rookie, by the way. And she defeats him in combat. It was really embarrassing. I think it was. So, as I said, he's like Rivel, but for Zero. And Lelouch, and Rivel was for Lelouch. So, the same type of, like, this fanboy character. I just... Kaguya. This one is not going to win me any fan. I know people like Kaguya. Before I do that, actually, let's read some comments real quick. All right, let's see. You'd be dissing my Millie boy. How dare you? I know people love Millie. I get it. I'm not, at least I'm trying to be different. But yeah, I do agree. People like Millie's character. Look, Her after high school is perfect. Her during high school, no thank you. How did Hashford Academy even have the might to have so many clubs? I don't know. In fact, you know what pissed off about Millie? There is a club. I think I wrote the name here. I was so pissed off with this. There is a club called the Seduction Club, and Millie approved this club's existence. Are you kidding me? She proved the Seduction Club's existence. Do I have to say anything else about that? I actually can't think of any character I hate in Code Geass. That's fine. You, I think everyone a good show, in my opinion, is one where you actually do like all the characters. So that's totally understandable. Mao wore glasses. He sure did. But he took them off when Lelouch used his Geass. Lelouch used his Geass on him during that scene when he was holding Suzaku hostage. Okay. Oh, or not hostage, but just messing with his mind. Let's pray Older will appear in Xena Recapture. I doubt it. If she does, it might be like a cameo. But I doubt it. Okay. Ribble makes me feel bad because you see Lelouch maybe doesn't treat him like a BFF. Yeah, like Sunahara in Planet. Like Tomoya never treated him like a friend either. He treated him like crap. Very true. Especially towards the end. But he was, Emperor Lelouch at that time. I'm noticing you don't like the school characters. I do not. Especially not all of them, but those characters. I thought Mao was the most hated character, but he's nowhere to be found here. Well, definitely not on this list, but in mine I put him on there. I understand people don't like him. How much did I have here? Okay, I gotta switch the battery soon. Okay, one of my friends asked me something like, imagine if Lelouch Geass Mao to be the Black Knight's chief. Yeah, how scary would that have been? Personally, I don't hate characters on any characters very much. I only hate on characters if the story arcs are poorly written or are a great disappointment. I guess that's more of a general statement, which is true. I feel the same way. I would there at JCR Code. They're finishing making the Guildford, and I'm pretty sure that's the last character they made for the game. So, and that's sad, by the way, because I want to see the Lelouch and Dash together as a team. That would have been so cool. All right, I gotta do something real quick here. So, don't leave the chat, guys. I have to change the battery of my camera. So let me. I'm gonna put a little transition thing here, and then I'm gonna be right back. So don't go anywhere, guys. I promise. I'll be right back. I just gotta do this real quick thing. Okay, I'll be right back. I think my media's playing. I don't want you guys to hear that. All right. Okay, I think we're good. My video working? Okay, good, good. Jesus. I wasn't sure if it actually worked. Thank God. All right. That's good. I'll keep that in mind going forward, how I can do these streams during my my battery runs out. Okay, awesome. Let's go through the remaining comments. Okay, I heard a theory on engage our code, or I have a theory, I should say. They're making Yo for it, and I'm pretty sure the last character they're making the game. I hope that's not the case. I want to see Alto and I want to see Dash. Make it happen. Schneizel's Reinhard von Logheim Britannia. That's funny. I feel like Schneizel got his punishment for losing his will. I guess, but like, I mean, like if it was the scales, right? You know, like you guys watch Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it was Shoddy had the scales, the Millennium Scale. Like losing his will, but he killed like millions of people. I don't know. I would have just liked a sentence that said like, "Hey, Schneizel was tried and he did like community service, or he was in jail for several years. They let him out, some kind of technicality. I don't know, something." But they didn't really like. It was just a lack of not even like addressing it. That's what kind of pissed me off. No, not Tamaki. Oh God, yes. They made the radio talks up to July 22nd, and a Guildford Japanese voice actor. So maybe next week, or the last week of July, when they announced a tweet, probably that the game will release in the first week of August. Now, I hope, by the way, I want to point out something since you guys are watching this and you heard it here first. I want to stream the game on here, like play it on my mobile. I think it's my tablet or something. I've never done it before, so I don't know how that works, but I want to actually play the game live. The problem is, I don't know if they're going to put subtitles on the game. If they don't put subtitles, I can't read Japanese, okay? Maybe some of you guys can, but I can't. And so if I'm playing the game and I can't read what the options are, well, it's not going to end well. So I'm hoping that they put subtitles in the game. I definitely want to stream it for you guys. That's something I like to do. Maybe every Sunday we do like Jinsari Code Sundays or something. And then when Zeta Capture comes out, we'll do that instead. Or maybe both. We'll see. Maybe what I'll do is I'll play Jinsari Code while I talk about Zeta Capture. Oh, I like with that. We'll do both things. But they got a subtitle. I can't read otherwise. I hope they do it like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! What's it called? So sad. What's that? Duel Links. Like that or something. That'd be kind of nice. Anyhow. He is nothing but a servant to Zero now. True. I still don't know if it actually makes up for what he did. Let's pray first week August the game comes out. Yep, and subtitled, please. Personally, I didn't like Kaguya. She's supposed to be very intelligent. We spent most of her time trying to turn the show into a harem. Yeah, she's actually like Kogias isn't a harem, but it almost becomes one because of her. Not liking the character isn't the same as hating them. That's very true. I'm very hyperbolic in my language. I'm saying here worst Kogias character. Does that mean I hate them? I do say low at the top, don't I? So, well, yeah, hate's a strong word. I might have to revisit this again. Sometimes when you write, when you're like passionate, you say things you shouldn't. I'm sure we're all guilty of that, myself included. Accidentally taking out one of the knights in a round or something in the final battle. Tamaki. I'm not sure the context there. Darf. Oh yeah, speaking of knights in a round, don't you think Shin's plan to airdrop the Independent would have gotten the drop on the rounds? Yeah, I think so. They won't have subtitles. Generally don't. So how am I going to play the game then? All right, if anyone knows Japanese, maybe we can play it for fun. I'll have to figure, that might actually be the fun part. I'll play the game. I'll mess up. I won't know what I'm doing. We'll figure it out. Actually, was on the execution stage when everyone else, but since everyone was freed from fighting Lelouch, the demon was left off the hook too. I had to pre-register for it. I can't wait. You got to pre-register for the game? Oh, I have pre-registered for it. Okay. Here's the thing, though. You're right. Schneizel was on the hook to be killed. The reason, though, I don't count that is because everyone was. And I don't think Lelouch tried him for his crimes against humanity. He just wanted to kill him because he was evil. They never really. The problem with that is if they had said that Schneizel was on trial to be killed because he specifically for the actions of Pendragon, then you might have a point there. But we don't know for sure why he was on trial, besides the fact, or not trial, on death row, because Lelouch was killing everyone in his royal family. He was killing not only Schneizel, the entire Black Knights, even Colin. I mean, it's hard to rope that all together, but it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I have a screen translator for JP Games. Is it like an app or something, or an attachment? Is that free? Can I get one of those? I've never heard of that before. And that's a thing, I like one. I like one now. But, alright, let's get on to the list. I think we're done with the comments. Okay. I'm drinking water and I'm still coughing. Good times. Alright, so why did I not like Kaguya? Well, it's funny because, man, I don't know if Larry King can read my mind, but it's the same thing. The harem. That's why I didn't, that's why I didn't like her, because that's that harem. And her obsession with Zero was just as cringy as Tamaki's. Like, he was not interested in her, but she kept pursuing him. So annoying. Oh, that's a bad take right there. I thought Shirley's one-way relationship with Lelouch was bad. No, it wasn't that bad. That's a bad take. That was my first analysis of the show. That's a bad take. But I couldn't tell her nonsense. That was really it. Which is weird. All right, number 3, Alicia Lohmeyer. Now, this is a character that like legitimately was evil. You know, there's certain characters like okay, kind of good, kind of bad. Alicia is pure evil. She is a puppet of the Empire and literally like hated the Japanese people, wanted to kill them. She was going to have Suzaku kill everyone who appeared to escape in Turn 8. You know, the million Japanese people. She wanted to kill all of them. She was going to kill Colin. Her only complaint about the Flea was not that it was fired, but why would they use it here? I believe I have the exact quote. She said, why would they use it here? Not why would they use it at all? So she was actually okay with it. So people say like, oh, Nina is racist and evil and use the Flea. Alicia Lohmeyer, hello. She literally, God, wow. And no one talks about her either, but Alicia was one of the most vile women in the entire series. And by the way, she represents how weak women are too, by the way. I didn't put that in there, but I should have. Alicia represents how weak women are. It's my take, you know. It must be the case. But yeah, she's just awful. Oh my God. Okay, so I put Nelly number 2. All right. So I know people, we kind of went back and forth on this. I won't spend too much time, but basically it's what I said earlier. You know, she's the reason why Lelouch does what he does, and you know, she can't do much with the other characters. She doesn't add much to the story. Unfortunately, I think they said the same thing too, right? She doesn't add anything to the story. She offers not much to the plot. It's kind of true because all she does most of the story is she hangs out in high school and gets kidnapped a lot. I wish she had more in the story. That would have been better. Now, she does become Viceroy, but she was a puppet Viceroy. And she actually does help out in that point. I think I mentioned that as well. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I should have mentioned that when she became Viceroy, she was actually helping the Japanese people out. So I would say in R1, not as big of a role. In R2, a much bigger role. I need to correct this article. That's not accurate. Yeah, that's not right at all. She was a puppet Viceroy, but she was fighting Alicia's racist tendencies. So yeah, here's what I mentioned. Her conversation with Lelouch, that's what I was angry about. She made it clear she wanted to live with Lelouch. She never wanted any of this. They also share a similar conversation when Lelouch was in the Emperor's transport. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. When they talk when she's revealed to be alive, Lelouch is like, "You think I did this for you? I did not do this for you." You know, that type of thing. And then, you know, I don't care about you, and because Nelly was like, "I didn't want any of this." And Lelouch was like, "Okay, whatever you say." But anyways, the point I was making before, and I'll say it again, you know, like what's going to happen when Lelouch graduates high school? Is he going to attend a college nearby? Eventually, they'd become separated or exposed. Even though Charles Marion sent Lelouch to protect them, It never felt like that, especially since they were pawns to the Empire. Oh my god, I got three burps there. Apologies. So they were going to marry Nelly to Genbu, which I mentioned. I think I mentioned earlier. So that was like an example of their pawns to political pawns. They were basically running for their life. Maybe they were safer in Japan, but their lives were still awful. Lelouch explained to C2 that before she gave him Geass, his life was meaningless, just a lie. He lived day to day, but there was no point to it. Um, but the main idea behind it was, again, Lelouch had to do this because he felt like if they just lived their lives normally, they might get caught one day, they might be exposed. He didn't know about the fact that Charles and Marion sent them there to protect them. It never appeared that way. So, from his point of view, the only way they ever could have lived together in peace, either they hide away somewhere, or he has to do what he did, which is change the world for the better. And the fact that Nolly doesn't acknowledge any of this and just assumes he's completely evil is why I was angry with her. At least in the film, she does acknowledge it. See, that would be better if she just said, "Look, I understand what you were trying to do. You took the whole burn yourself. That wasn't good. However, you didn't ask me if I wanted this, and we could have found a better way." That would have been a much better statement than saying, like, "I didn't ask for anything. I just wanted to be with you." It was like, "Yeah, I know you want to be with me, but we can't live together like this. Come on now." Ooh, I want to cover that up. So, a reason counts before we get to the end here. The app is free. Okay, what's the name of it? I'm gonna write a note right now. What is the app called? Because I'm gonna download it and use it for Just Zari code. So, if he's still on here, I'd like to know the name of that app. Okay. My earlier comment was how Tamaki was a great joke character and he should have beaten one of the knights around in the final battle. That would be kind of funny. Like, how in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Yogi takes out Pride? They could have had a moment like that for Tamaki. That actually would have been pretty good. Useful to some degree. I think the unrealistic about Zero Reckoning is that it makes it seem like everyone forgot about the past grudges, which is probably why no one does a trial, which just wouldn't happen. Is that it makes it seem like everyone forgot their past grudges. I don't know if that's true or not, because in Lelouch's Resurrection, everyone was really angry at Lelouch. I mean, Cornelius like, everything you did to Yuffie and Dalton, I don't think that's true at all. I think people were still pissed off. And if that was the case, they should have established it. I'm here now. Welcome. ADSF, ASTF. Where you learn how to type. Those are like the basic keys on the keyboard. I remember Lomar getting vainly, bulgingly enraged when Ellie was like, "This policy is racist, rewrite it, lady." Yeah. Calling Alicia Lomar her BS. Yeah, she couldn't handle that crap. Whoa, Nully on here is a spicy take. Well, she was, I think, AJ, you might be a little late to the party. She was on this article as well. I was trying really hard to like the character, but it's just, oh, God. Kind of like Shirley, they had a lot of potential with her, and I expected more, and that conversation at the end just really pissed me off. Because it's one thing to be angry when someone does something for you. It's another to not even understand why they were doing it, just be angry at them in the first place. And that was the problem. She was kind of right about the 1 million Japanese people Suzaku did let them escape. People from unempathetic, and strategic point of view. I mean, yeah, but wasn't she also okay with them being exiled? Or maybe else is Lelouch. You know what? That's not true. With Zero, she's like, yeah, you could exile him. With the rest of them, I get it, but like, she didn't care. She just looked at them as enemy combatants, letting them go would have been a mistake. Sure, but if the Black Knights if they leave Japan, there would have been no more conflict in the area. That was why they left to begin with. So, you're right, but she was just so unapologetic about it. And like almost happy too. Like it was kind of messed up. Like, yeah, we should kill these people. Like she was so quick to pull the trigger. Especially after what happened at SADS. Like, did anyone learn nothing from that event? It didn't bring anyone together. It caused so much destruction. That was literally one of the biggest rebellions in the history of the conflict between Britannia and Japan. So she might have been thinking intelligently about killing, some opposing enemies, but she wasn't thinking the grander context here. If they had massacred everyone at that place, that place. uh, the million people who show up for that rally, that would have caused civil unrest, the likes of which you would never see. So I see what you're saying, but I still think she didn't see it. I still think there's more factors she didn't consider. I remember seeing someone put Lomar on their waifu list, but not Colin. Like, wow, Lomar on a waifu list? Was it a neo-Nazi? I'm just kidding. I have no idea. Can I say that on YouTube? Neo-Nazi? I don't know. Was it a fascist? I don't know. That's wow. I'm surprised Cornelia wasn't on CBR's list. I would assume killing a bunch of innocent Japanese people would get on their list. Yeah, Cornelia, I agree. Cornelia was pretty evil early on. That's funny, right? No one had talked about Cornelia. To me, I liked her character. If you guys know, I did like my favorite woman in Geass. But yeah, she was definitely awful. Why wasn't Kyle on the list, you know? I mean, she was angry all the time, and she didn't care about anyone except for Zero, and you know, she was obsessed with her dead brother, and she had a lot of like issues there, and she couldn't see her mother loved her. She was, you know, obviously delusional, crazy. CBR takes. What should I tell you? Should I watch Geass? Yes or no? Well, I thought you did watch Geass because well, I spoiled a bunch of stuff. I apologize, but I'm not apologizing, but like it is what it is. Oh, you said rewatch. Oh God, I'm tired. Jesus. Rewatch. Yeah, why not? I rewatched Geass a couple times. Just kind of trying to like write articles, videos, and also just there's certain stuff I miss all the time. It's crazy. There's just so many stuff. So much stuff, I should say, or all the stuff. But Colin for waifu. Yep. That's totally a reasonable response. And then Darth said, "They what?" Yeah, Alicia Lomar was a waifu. Wow. And number one, and it's something that that Glider King brought up. I'm not sure if he's still here or not, but like he brought up Bradley. I'm like, yeah, Bradley is the worst character. Now I don't know if you read my article, if you did or did not, but I just find it funny that you mentioned like Bradley is the worst character. I'm trying to see where you said that. Yeah, Bradley's on the list. He's literally the worst character in Geass, and I just find it funny that like we both like came to that same conclusion. He's literally the worst. You know, it's not hard. Like I'll explain why. There's no depth to this character at all. They try to sneak in like this psychopath character, but they don't do a good job in developing him. I'm going to actually do a video on this at some point. I want to compare him to Johann Liebert and Kimberly, and maybe even Kenpachi Zaraki, because you can see from those characters how to create a psychopathic like person. And with Bradley, they failed. They just horribly failed. Excuse me. So here's the problem. He has like one belief in life, which is, you know, I think it's valuable in life to kill people, or people hold life as like their most precious things. I take it from them. I love war because war makes you like you can kill people in war and that's fine, but it's like that's it. What makes good psychopaths and killers is they have like they have their own belief system. Many of them are ideologues. You know, like Anton Chigurh or Joker. If you guys have seen The Dark Knight or read or watched No Country for Old Men, you know, like they had a whole like belief system of why they did what they did, and it made you like understand them and kind of care. On like not like them as a person, but like you understand him. Like you may not have liked Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, but you understand his philosophy about life, and that's why he's a great character, even if you hate him, and you're supposed to, by the way. And that's the thing about you know, those characters compared to Bradley. Like there's nothing with Bradley, and the problems are too, and I've discussed before, is they brought in so many characters and they didn't develop them all. They brought too many characters, not enough time to develop any of them. The Knights of the Round was the biggest casualty of this. So, you know, he wasn't there for long, and they didn't do much with him. So, It was awful. They were trying to make up some kind of psychopath character, and it was there's more to it than that. You know, you got to actually do stuff with them. Now, I wrote here, you could argue that Bradley had some character development in Oz of Reflection, but no one read that manga, and this is from the original anime. Yeah, it's... God, he throws knives at people like Vlad the Impaler, so you have that going for them. Um, yeah, they should have done more with him. And here's something else I mentioned, and I think this is a good point. I should reiterate. Why did he get more screen time than Monica, Dorothy, or Nadia? That is my biggest question. We got one scene with Dorothea, and she's dying. We got a couple with Monica, and like none with, and a couple of Nadia just standing there. Those were interesting characters, and did nothing with them. That pissed me off. I don't even mention his whole like, and people hate the fact that he has like a harem of girls like Marika and some other blonde woman who hangs out with him. I mean, I don't know if it was a harem, but like it was a Valkyrie squad. If you're gonna make a sociopath character, you have to give them a set of principles that they believe in because they're ideologues, and it has to be something that you like understand, but you know they're insane. Like Joker was so great because he was like, okay, you know the system is weird, right? A bunch of soldiers go and die to war. No one says anything. It's part of the plan. But if I'm going to kill the mayor tomorrow, everyone loses their mind. It's like, okay, I don't think we should do that, but you make a good point. And that's what made him such a good character, because you don't necessarily agree with what he's doing, but you understand his point of view, and you can kind of almost get it. It's kind of like Pain from Naruto. You know, you listen to him, you're like, wow, he's right. Oh God, I think he's right. You know, when you listen to a villain and you start believing they're not their ideas because there is some base of truth to them, that's a good villain, especially psychopaths and sociopaths. And the problem with Bradley, you don't get any of that. Instead, you just get a half-assed character with no development, and a very cheesy. I take what's precious of their lives. Why do you do that? What's your goal in life? What are you really striving for? Killing's all that matters in the battlefield. That's not what I asked, but thanks for sharing. Yeah, I might one day, maybe I'll package and do like a more essay version of this article in the future. All right, let's go through some comments. It's called Translate on Screen by Dictionary NH Apps on Google Play Store. Thank you, sir. I'm going to copy this and paste it. If this works out well, I'm gonna get a Japanese role-playing game. I'm gonna try it and see if it works or not, because this would be great. If I could play either Chisari Code, I'll definitely stream it for you guys. Hi, hello, Bradley King. Glad you're still here. I think Bradley played the character you're supposed to hate well, and he died in a satisfying way. I get it, but like, you could hate a character but also understand them. I feel like with Bradley, they were trying to do too much with the character, too much with it. No, I know Larry King. He wasn't in a relationship with Bradley. I'm just joking. People call it like a wife, a harem. I know there was no. Look, she was gonna marry Leonard. I know. It's a joke. It's so true. Bradley is so pointless. If I'm stretching, you find an implication that people like him and Lomar and maybe wait. Hold on. What the fuck is so true? Bradley is so pointless. If I'm stretching, he provides an implication that people like him and Lomar are maybe more common in messed up society. Yeah, probably. I mean, Lomar was a product of the government, and she was one of their what is her? She was an ambassador. Did I write what her actual position was? She was like the only political person in the story. A second here. Let's see. She was a aide and advisor. That's right. I said ambassador. That was completely wrong. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's for sure. But the thing about Bradley too, I forgot to mention something else too. You know how in anime, especially shonens, you always have like a group of people who do stuff, like a certain guild or group or whatever the case may be. You always have the one crazy guy in there, right? Like in Bleach, you have the Gote 13 and you have Kenpachi Zaraki. Or in D Greyman, you have that one character who's just completely insane, but he's like on your side. Let's see if I can figure out who it is. He's part of the order. I just can't remember what his name was. He was really cool, but I'm just saying you always have these crazy guys who, um, let's see if I can characters the Black Order. I think it's the Great Generals. Have you guys seen D Greyman? It's really good. If you haven't seen it, you know, please watch it. It's not finished. It'll never be finished, but you guys should totally check it out. What is it? Characters, Black Order. There's like a bunch of branches. It's really, it's such a really well thought out series. I'm just trying to find the characters. Let's see. What the heck is he? He's a really cool dude. I just can't remember his name. No. No, hold on. Is it the Asian branch? I love the Asian branch. That's my favorite part from the story. No, that's so frustrating. She was cool too. Did they have like a list of all the exorcists? Exorcists. Just all of them. Like, could we just see a list of all the exorcists? That's him. This guy here. That's him. I don't know his name. Let's see if we have a list of all the exorcists. Alan Walker, Levy, Bookman, Dark, Ranalotto. Oh, she's a great character. Are you serious? Where's the rest of them? Where's the generals? Oh, I see. I gotta look hard. These are the generals. Marion Cross, dude. That's him. What the hell is his name? Why is he not? Is this guy? No, that's the guy who can't hear. Where is he? This is so frustrating. When you don't remember people's names, what happens? Anyways, I don't know why he's not listed here, like name wise, but it's no, not this guy. It's this is really painful. It's this guy here. Anyway, it's some crazy nut job who like he's like insane. The point is they try to make Bradley the same type of character where you have a group of people and you have that one guy who's just, you know, a loose cannon who's really part of this because he's just crazy, and if he was in the military he'd be killing people on the streets. The difference between him and like Kenpachi or the other guy or Kimberly is that they actually have like there's more to them than just the fact that they like killing people. They didn't do anything with this character. So there's that. Okay, what else we got here? I kind of wish. Oh, actually, do you have a channel Discord? I actually discussed early on, since more people with the stream. I want to start a Discord server. I just need help running it. I also got to figure out like what's the best approach. You know, should I make it Geass based? Should I make it anime based? Should I have like different groups like the Knights of the Realm, the Black Knights, the State Alchemists, the Mestrian Soldiers, the Gote 13, Millennium, which is the organization, by the way, in both Helsing and Gunnery, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Black Lagoon. Like, what would I pick for the different groups and characters? And I look at other Discord servers, and there's like so much stuff you can do. It's kind of overwhelming, and it'd be something else I have to manage. I need help with that too. So I'm not opposed to it. It's just be a lot of work. Now that I've reached 1,000 subscribers, it might be time to start looking into something like that, because there's a lot of people now who are interested in the content and they want to talk about stuff, but you can't really talk much on YouTube, like at all. And Facebook's not that great for that either. I mean, you can have threads, but it's not as sociable. So I definitely have to look into that. I can't run from it anymore. I refuse. Okay. Next question, or next count. I wish the fight between Con and Bradley was more even. It felt like they were building up to that fight and a little bit, but basically she destroys him. he wasn't ever around. But look, she was using the Gurren Satanic elements, which is like an OP nightmare frame, and he was using his like pathetic Percival. So, but that's true because when Suzaku fought Bismarck and the Galahad, it was a pretty, at least they had some kind of back and forth before Suzaku killed him. And you could argue if he didn't have the ability to live, and Bismarck didn't use his ability to see into the future, it might have been who knows what the outcome would have been. But with Colin and Bismarck and Bradley, it was kind of it was pretty one-sided. But to be fair, her nightmare frame was pretty OP. Now maybe if he had the strongest nightmare frame, that might have worked better. But yeah, the fight was awful. Unless you hated Bradley and wanted to die. In that case, it was amazing. Now I personally like seeing him die. One thing I will notice is that when he's blowing up here, he kind of looks like a monkey. I wonder if that was like an homage. Just again, I'm reaching here to Dragon Ball Z because remember when Frieza dies, he looks like a monkey, and ironically enough, he was calling the Saiyans monkeys. So it's like, hey, you're racist towards them, but deep down, you look more like the thing you. Again, I'm reaching. Although, didn't that guy, the very first person who Lelouch told to kill himself, didn't he call the Japanese people monkeys? So maybe that was the point of that. Cause he looks like a monkey here. It's kind of funny. Anywho, I'm like ranting here. Yeah, him and like 4 or 5 sidekicks, right? All at once. Right. I don't think Mariko was in a relationship with Bradley, considering she was Leon's fancy. Yeah, that was a joke. You can try an Android emulator like BlueStacks. Takes a bit of work to get it started, but does work, controller, plug, etc. So let's say I did that, right? So I'll use. I know what BlueStacks is. Can you stream that to your computer? Does that work the same with another Android device? And that's it. That's it. In fact, if I use BlueStacks, couldn't I theoretically just put it on my screen and play it that way, and not even have to like connect it to get like not an emulator, but like an app just to have it streamed to YouTube? You know what? I got an idea. Next stream, just for fun, I'm gonna pick some random game and I'm gonna play it on here. Not because I like the game or not, but just because I want to demonstrate if I can actually stream it directly live using BlueStacks, or if I can just show it literally on the screen. I'll do some experimentation. That's a good idea. I could just use a BlueStack emulator because I used BlueStack in the past. Because long story made short, I didn't have a phone for the longest time, and for work, I had to use WhatsApp. I didn't have WhatsApp, so I had to use the BlueStack version, which was kind of funny. I had to like open my laptop, send messages through WhatsApp. I was like, I think you're working backwards here, right? That's not what you should be doing. But yeah, that was what I ended up doing. So yeah, I can try BlueStack. That's a good idea. I think you should make your own tier list. Of what exactly? Like my favorite characters or battles? Like I already did one of my. I already have Here, let's go to the top here. This is my list, by the way, in case you were not aware. I did one for CBR, and I went to mine to kind of demonstrate the contrast. Anyways, if I go to lists, I'm not going to go through anything. I made some already, but I did like the most beautiful women, facts, characters I hate, the best women. What else did I do? 10 facts on Lelouch, 10 facts on Suzaku, Spada ranking. Oh, actually, that's not. Yeah, Spada ranking. Facts on C2. Favorite episode R2. Favorite nightmare frames. Some more generic stuff. I have done tier list. I have not done my favorite Code Geass characters. That I definitely should do. At some point. And by the way, those articles, kind of like how anime and manga, the manga comes out first, anime comes out second. Most of those are going to be videos at some point. I just have to get around to making them. It turns out making videos is a lot harder than writing articles. Who knew? So that's kind of what that. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up, I want to be number one. Ooh, who will be number one? I kind of made it clear earlier in the video, but maybe one day we'll find out. But all right, now one thing I want to mention before we end the stream here is that if you look for, wait, what the hell? When did this come out? 10 hours ago. I was about to say there's no articles left to go over. Death Note's Light versus Geass is Lelouch. Who outsmarts the other? What the fudge? Oh my god. Did they watch Kato's video? Oh god, they actually did this? Look at the photos. Could you at least pick Luke's looking somewhat dignified? And you pick like Light's generic smug face? And you give Luke's typical like angry face? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay, I guess I know what I'm talking about next time, huh? To be fair, I haven't watched Death in a long time, so I forgot some of the parts of the story, but I know enough about it I could discuss it. Okay. I like how they spend half this article not even discussing who wins. What a crap fest. Unbelievable. CBR, riding for clicks and nothing else. Anyway, what I was going to say was, if you go through the list of Geass related stuff, there's not much there. I've kind of gone over most of the articles. So the question I have is, oh god, this is one of the worst articles ever made. Anyhow, so are you guys okay with maybe we go through like other CB articles in different anime? Like, it's crazy they have like maybe 15 for Geass and half of them aren't even like. There's not much to talk about, honestly. But what the hell is this? Okay, I guess we have this one too. So there might be 2 or 3 left. But that's about it. So what I'm thinking is after I go through, I guess, those, I could go into other anime that I like, that I'm passionate about. For example, Bleach. Like, there are so many Bleach articles. It's absolutely insane. Like here's some basic math, right? There's like 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And there's 42. Isn't that crazy? 42 of 20. That's over 800 articles. And some of these are just absolutely awful. So I might want to. I'm not sure if you guys are okay, because the problem with the YouTube algorithm is like, if you don't talk about something you normally do, people don't want to watch it. So I love to talk about Bleach on here or Fullmetal Alchemist articles, but again, that's only if you guys are interested in that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's it's not gonna recommend it, and no one's gonna watch it, and I understand how this works, for better or for worse. So, because there's a bunch of stuff here that are just awful. And again, if you guys have watched Bleach, then you would, you might be interested or not. But there's just like this and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Well, I guess the best way to decide is to simply put something out and see what you guys think. I do want to do a video at some point discussing Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I guess I'll judge from that video what you guys think. Yeah, I believe I'm excited for that too. All right, a couple more comments, then I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's getting kind of a little late. Okay. Luch wins much as I love Light. Luch wins. We'll go over it. We'll go over it next week. They always use the same photo if Light holding death. Yeah, it's always that same smug look. Like, Geass is no different. Like, every picture they use, it's always the same. God, and I guess something to throw out here. I don't know if I mentioned it while I was going through the article, but like, hold on. Let's go for this one here, right? These photos often have nothing to do with their problems or what they're bringing up here. It's always hilarious to me. They'll say, like, he did something. I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything. So God, it's so annoying. It's always the same smug photo. Heads up with the translator app. The Japanese is a special language on the list, but you could watch for ads for free or use the 10 to 15 uses, which helps with some Japanese. Wait. A heads up with the translator app. The Japanese is a special language on it, but you could watch ads for free use for 10 to 15 uses, when you say uses, do you mean like per app you use or per session? Not sure what you mean by that. Legend of Galactic Heroes. Man, Legend of Galactic Heroes. I have not seen that show in a long time. I'd have to get resubscribed to High Dive to watch it again. It's a long show too. It's like 110 episodes. It's a good show though. The first 10 random soldiers 1 to 10. Yeah, yeah, that God, that was so bad. That article was so bad. Like the first 10 people he used it on, and it was like soldiers. There was 10 of them. Oh God. You can stockpile a lot of 3 translations. When you for okay, that's good. Can't next Bleach season. I can. I agree with you. What about FMA 2003? Yeah, I actually just rewatched FMA recently because I watched it like a long time ago, and I was like, I thought the show was kind of bad. And I went through it again. I was like, what, it was actually not as bad as I thought it was. It's one of those things where your memory kind of plays tricks on you. Because I hated Fullmetal Alchemist when I watched it originally, and one of the reasons why, because it wasn't Brotherhood. Okay, I'm sure most people felt the same way. I did go through it recently. I'm like, you know what? There's still clear problems with the series, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's not a 5 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10. So it's not that bad. I definitely could. The problem though with Full Alchemist is that there's a channel called, I'm sure you've seen it. It's I forgot his name. Lado, I think. He went through like the comparison between Alchemist and Brotherhood. So yeah, it's kind of been done to death already. Oh, so per translation. Okay, so if I use this on the app only, I'll be fine then, right? So if I get this translator, I put it on the Code Geass Jezari code, I'm good. All right, awesome. But I think your point though is if I want to test in other games for streaming purposes, I can't do too many. Okay, that's fine. I'll pick one random game that looks interesting and I'll try it on there. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. 110 episodes plus side stories. Yeah, look at Gundam, Gundam never ends. You guys you may not have been here early on, but I mentioned like, where is it? I have like, where is it? So I have here like the recap films for Gundam, and I have the original Gundam as well. And I still have to go through MS Teams and MS Team, I should say, Wing, and Shower's counterattack. I mean, I have, God. So I know the whole idea of like, there's always side stories. All right. Have you watched Death Note? If so, make your opinions on Blue until Lelouch. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I mean, it's been done to death. There's so many. The problem with that fight is there are so many factors to consider. The main one is, like, does Light know who Lelouch is? If he doesn't, then like, how does that work? How would Lelouch even know that Light was a threat? Does C2 and Ryuk play a role in this? There are so many factors to consider who would win in a battle between the two. Now, technically speaking, if Light was to write Lelouch Lamperouge, he would die, right? Because that's not his real name. But Lelouch could use his Geass on any of Light's acquaintances to get him, like the father. Like if Lelouch found his father and used the Geass on him, his father would betray Light and kill him. If he knew who Light was. That's the thing. If they find each other's identities out, I think Lelouch has a chance, but if Light actually gets the right name, he would kill him. So there's a lot of like, it's a very difficult fight because there's just too many factors to consider. That's why I don't want to talk about it, because I'm not I don't say smart enough. I don't think I could really come up with who would win. There's just too many things to consider. Most people say Lelouch would win. I think maybe most scenarios he probably would, because he just needs eye contact, and Light needs a name and a face, and Lelouch never reveals his real identity to anybody. Would Light even know he was V Britannia as opposed to Lee or Z or La, or like how would he know that, or L? So that's the confusing part. But he could use the Death Note to make his friends tell him. So anyhow, next CBR article. Every time Lelouch has said all tasks that had to be cleared, you know what? They would still get that wrong. They'd still get it wrong. I started watching Gundam, but got sidetracked and started watching Doctor Who up to season 8. Oh, you watched the OG Doctor Who? Um, that's actually impressive because when I was in community college, and oh god, now I sound like Michael K. When I was in community college, I talked to Doctor Who fans, and they were watching the show. I was like, oh, that's great. I love Doctor Who. I watched as a kid. My dad recorded the tapes, and I was a great experience. Like, oh, you watch Doctor Who, the new show. I'm like, great. I don't hate the new show. It's just like, really? So I respect anybody who goes back and watches the original series. I really do. So if you, because that was, especially, the way things are nowadays with TV shows and special effects. The old Doctor Who was so, it was old. They had like a shoestring budget. I mean, like everything was, the dogs, like that was literally a plunger, it's just funny. So if you watch the old stuff, I give you credit. Lelouch has Rollo and Deithard. Oh, are you saying like he could use the Death Note on Rollo or Deithard to yeah, he totally could. He could use the Death Note on both of them to get yeah, he could for sure because he can control their last action before they die. So he could tell Rollo and Deithard to find Lelouch's identity and then tell him what it is or something else of that nature. That's a good point. Again, too many factors to consider. Newsview article, every time he does over dramatic arm movement. Oh man, you could just go all day with this. Troughton was absolute joy. Yeah, Troughton is between Pertwee and Troughton, it's hard to decide who's the best Doctor. I know everyone loves Tom Baker, and nowadays it's David Tennant, but Troughton was really good. And the tragedy with Troughton is that most of his episodes, like, they're gone. We'll never see them. Evil of the Daleks, one of the best episodes that aired, was deleted. Let's see, Evil. I think it's called Evil of the Daleks. It's one of the best episodes, but we never see it. We only have there's certain images from it and some clips, but it was, man, legendary episode, and they ruined it. There are some new episodes nowadays they could totally delete, but some of Troughton's old episodes, they were such classics. Like, he had 4 Cybermen stories, and 2 were deleted. What a shame. Yeah, Troughton was great. Troughton and Pertwee, man, they were something else. Now having a nostalgia moment, but yeah, Doctor Who, man, back in the day, good stuff. I can send more information when the stream in the comment section. Yeah, if you please, yeah, let me know. Like, if you could link any of the, oh crap, I can't do that now because apparently if you link stuff in the comments, you might get scammed. And this is where a Discord server would come in handy because then you could just send me through a Discord server. Yeah, here's if you send the link, it might get deleted. See, unfortunately, I reached 1,000 subscribers, but I don't have a community tab, and I thought I was going to get a community tab. Here I was. I thought 1,000 subscribers equals a community tab, but no community tab. So, you can try setting the comment, put the comment there, but yeah. Put the comment in there. Hopefully it doesn't get deleted. If it does, I'll respond to you. Let you know. Yeah, the problem with YouTube nowadays, I saw this video from Roberto Blake, but apparently so what's happening is people are putting links on people's profiles, and when you click on them, they're scamming. They're basically acting as if they're someone else, or acting as if they're you, scamming people to do stuff, and because of that, links and comments are now very dangerous because some guy had to ruin it for everyone else. Like everything else in life. Yeah, try sending me a comment in the information comment section below, because I definitely want to stream the game when it comes out next month. Invasion Cybermen is probably my favorite Doctor Who story so far. Yes, Invasion is brilliant, and so is Earthshock. And Genesis of the Daleks. Even Planet Daleks was good. Tombless Cybermen was awesome. War Games. War Games is good stuff. War Games is one of the best Doctor Who episodes of all time. I'm not sure how we got into this conversation, but yes, if you haven't seen you have seen War Games, right? That one, long story, but man, that was so good. Anyhow, I feel stupid. I thought he meant Tron as in the movie. Oh, Tron. Yeah, that was a good film. I believe it had if you guys ever seen Babylon 5, it has oh god, what the hell's his name? Uh Pierre Jurassic and the guy who played Sheridan. What the hell is his name? Man, I guess it's late. What the hell is his name? Captain Sheridan. Babylon 5. What is his name? I'm gonna be so pissed when I see it. Yes, Bruce Boxleiter. Okay. Would Light be fighting to find Lelouch's real name or Zero? Because I don't see why Light would fight Lelouch. Yeah, see, that's another thing too. Like, why would they be fighting in the first place? I mean, again, there's so many factors to consider. There's so many factors to consider when it comes to those two fighting. That's why, again, like, if you're going to have a battle between any anime characters, doesn't matter who, you gotta establish the rules, the scenario, the situation, because in certain situations Light would win, in certain situations Lelouch would win. You gotta establish the rules and stuff. Because yeah, why would they be fighting for? Who discovers whose identity? Which characters are relevant in that? Like, why didn't you mention about L? Does L play a role in this? Does Suzaku play a role in this? You know, like, how does that work? It's always a problem when people do these death battles between characters. There's too many factors to consider. That's why I never really enjoyed them too much, because it's literally just one person's take on one scenario of many where the characters could interact. That's why I tend not to do that stuff, but maybe in the future, we'll see. I only saw the Weeping Angels of Doctor Who. That's actually, most people say nowadays, if you want to get into Doctor Who, watch that episode, because that's like a good introduction episode. To me, I would say if you want to watch a good episode of Doctor Who to get started, and you want some classic stuff, I would say Genesis of the Daleks is a good one. Invasion's good too. Actually, that's a really good one. Earthshock is good. I think another one that I really would recommend anyone to watch. Yeah, I think Genesis of the Daleks just was such a well-crafted story. Oh, The Terror of the Autons is a good one too. That's the first episode with the Master, so the original Master with Roger Delgado, not the. Well, I'm not sure what the Master is now, but like at the time it was Roger Delgado, and he was actually good friends with Pertwee too. So like, yeah, it always helps when you're good friends with the person you're starring in a TV show. But yeah, Terror of the Autons was a good one too. All right, let's keep going here. Got a couple minutes left. Kira thinks Zero is an evil terrorist, while Kira thinks Zero is an evil terrorist, while Zero thinks Kira is like Schneisel. That's not a bad comparison. So basically, Kira's killing criminals, Lelouch is a criminal, that's why he would go after him. Alright, that's a fair point. I'm sure that's not an original take. I'm not saying you're an idiot, I assume that's what most people probably assume, because he kills criminals and Zero is a criminal. And maybe Suzaku would join him because he wants to take down Zero. Interesting. Plus, imagine if Lelouch had Light and Light teamed up. No. It's like a definitive, capital letters. No. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I kind of agree. If they teamed up, it would have been. They wouldn't team up. They have two different belief systems. I mean, Light wants to basically end all of crime somehow. I don't know how. He wants to end it by killing people who commit crime. I'm not going to discuss Death Note's issues I have with the series, but he wanted to kill everyone who committed crime he wanted to stop crime by killing people who were committing crime. Lelouch didn't want to stop any kind of violence. He just wanted to get the world going into the future through his own violent actions. In fact, the person who I think it makes sense that Suzaku and Light would be best friends, because Suzaku's like, I'm going to stop violence with more violence, and Light's like, I agree. Did we just become best friends? Yep. That's what happened. Suzaku and Light would be friends because they have a similar belief system how to stop violence. So there we go. Pertwee is great, but getting into Doctor Who first season, only 4 stories. They're all good. I got into the chronological, but I'm not everyone, and I love the classic shows. Also watch Twilight Zone. Oh God, Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone's amazing. My favorite episode, not that you asked, but it's Oh, that's hard. What's the favorite VODs on stuff? There's the one where I forgot the name of it, but like these people are on a planet and they're torturing like these little people, and then in the end the big people torture them. That was a good one. The oh, Eye of the Beholder was a good one. The one on the plane with Shatner, that was a good one. The um what's another one I really liked? I'm trying to like go through my data here, actually my hard drive. What was another one I really liked? Hmm. Oh, the one where everyone was wearing masks and the rich guy was gonna die. This rich person was dying, and he was leaving his wealth to all his family. He told everyone to wear masks, and then when he died, um, to get his money or something. But when they took the masks off, they became the things they were. Oh, that was a good episode. Oh my god. You should review Anime Emotion. They have not posted in a long time, but they did it on Kogias when he was talking about Anime Emotion. When he was talking about how he could not beat. Let me see. Am I subbed to that channel? I'm subbed to a bunch of anime channels. Let me take a look. Anime Emotion. Let's see. Hey, look. That looks familiar. Anyways. Anime in Motion. Let's see. I've never heard of this channel. Let's see. Kogias. Are you sure it's the right channel? They have not put a long time, but they did a video on Kogias where he was talking about how he could beat Light. I just see two like videos here. Am I like let's see. Lelouch? I might have the wrong channel. Anyhow. My favorite one on the list is Stop and Willoughby, just because of the twist at the ending was bloody shocking. And when the sky opened up, one was traumatized. That's great. Yes, they do speeches. I don't understand. Like, so why would that? Hmm. I'm confused. They do speeches, so uh, I'm not gonna play the video, or I'll turn up the sound. Like, I'm just looking at what this is. I don't get it. I don't know. I heard of it. I heard of that channel because of those two videos. It's very cool. Okay. You're saying to just watch the videos because they're good. Okay, that's fine. I will. I just thought there was like, I thought maybe there was some connection between Light and L, and you're, or yeah, Light and L, and you're like, oh, not Light L, sorry, Light and Lelouch. Yeah, I'll check it out. Look, I appreciate the artistic interpretations of Kogias, and the only thing I don't like is those reaction channels. They're getting really annoying. Like it's like I'm probably gonna discuss this at one point, but if you type in like Kogias and you in the search bar, and this is me being really salty, by the way, I'm not even denying it. Like, and you go through the searching, and you get like, look at this, a bunch of reactions to Kogias. Like, this is the only content people make nowadays. They're just reacting to Kogias. It's so depressing. Like, this is the only thing people can do is react to Kogias. More reactions. Are you kidding me? I don't know if Kogias is the only show that does this, but it's like all people can do is like Kogias reactions. Ooh, Kogias and Hearts of Iron. What is this? I never heard of this channel. Mr. Mikla. What is this? And then you have these one and done videos. What the hell? What did I just click into? See, more reaction channels. My God, stop. Just stop. Like, this video here, the one you recommended, should be much higher. So should we wait? Like, Kato's one of the best Kogias guys out there. And his stuff doesn't, like, only a few things rank to the top. But, like, these darn reaction channels. My God. Is Kogias overhyped or underrated? Doesn't even matter what I think. It's just hilarious to me what is like filtered to the top when you type Kogias into YouTube. Um, ooh, this is good. So I'm in the royal family tree. I actually want to talk about the royal family at some point, so I might do that. Oh, see, it's just look at this. It's just lists. All right, now I'm just roasting people. I gotta stop. Um, I get the credit for doing it, but like, see, it's like one and done. Everyone does one and done videos. All right, I gotta stop ranting. The girl scream, "Oh my god!" If Light's goal was to kill Zero, good luck. Not only finding out his name, but finding Lucius' name. But by then, Lucius would suspect Light, and so pretty much, searching incognito gives you better data when it actually appears. They feel so fake, and I hate it. Yeah, the reaction channels. The only thing I have Solomon or Solace, not Solomon, Solace is God, one more time. The only thing I feel good about, I can't think of the word, is that those channels don't get many views anymore. So at least people are not watching it. But it's just so crazy. All right, so here is it. Here it is, unfiltered. Okay, let's see. Wow, someone put the first episode. Great. Okay. Okay, so Kato, that's good. He should be on here. Spooky, that's a good channel. Okay, more reaction. Okay, you know what? Incognito is much better. You're right. Actually, getting really good Geass content. Not mine, of course, but good Geass content. And then mine's buried under like reaction channels. Ugh, reaction channels. I don't mind them, but it's just like really. What is this? Anyways. Go Geass, let's respond to it because that's the only way we can do it. That's... Alright. Anyways, that's me ranting like an idiot. That's all I am. I'm a salty man. Okay. Ooh, look at that. I lost all my viewers. Awesome. I get it. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of going over the place. Alright, so what do we do now? We got, oh, Jesus, a long stream. Alright. I'm gonna end here. Yeah, please, put the, yes, I have heard of Code Ment. Every Code Geass fan has. At least a real fan has. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Code Ment's me. Anyways, if you have a chance, please send me a link to that translator because I want to have it for the stream. I'll do some tests of it maybe next week. Oh God, please. That's all. ADSF, ASDF. That's a whole other thing to itself. Anyhow, yeah. Please send me the link after in the comments. I think you did now if you wanted to. So do that. I'll look into it. I might find some stuff of my own. You know, I'm pretty good at Google searching. Next week, I guess we can go over. I'll do some research. I'll watch Death Note because I hate myself. And I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But I'm gonna watch Death Note, and we'll do a breakdown of this article, and I'll do a and I'll actually discuss what I really think. I'll come up with something creative. I hope to. I'm also working on some Reddit videos, and also is Lucia villain, hero, or anti-hero. So those are things to stay tuned for the future. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching, as always. And thank you for 1,000 subscribers. When do I stream? I tried to Sundays. I didn't do it this week because of reasons. I'll have a consistent schedule for this stuff. But anyhow, I gotta go, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you for giving me 1,000 subscribers. I really mean it. I really appreciate it. I mean it by my thank you. I'm tired. All right, guys. Peace out.